Well, hello there. Welcome to Mischief, Mayhem Movie, episode 25. Okay, we got a good one today. We have special guests. Obviously, Mr. Shieldwall of Dragons is joining us for the first time on the show. Thank you very much, sir, for popping in.
Well, thank you for having me on. This is awesome to be on here with all these cool kids.
This is where the cool kids hang out.
Yeah,
The special
cool
people.
hang out.
Yeah, appreciate
I'm
you.
getting to scream with somebody that spent $68 on a cheese pizza.
Listen, we don't talk about old stuff on the show. Okay?
Wait a second.
I don't understand how you could be Italian and then get
I
taken
well,
for
no.
a ride for a cheese
Hold
pizza
on.
for
Hold on.
$68, dude.
If
It's fucking
you
ridiculous.
If you bought the full pizza, it was $68. We bought slices. So
Where did you get
what
a
was it,
$68
$20
pizza
a
from?
slice?
it was in Vegas when we were on Fremont Street, and it was about close to $30 for like 4 slices of pizza. We got taken. That's fine. I was hungry. I was hungry, man.
Sometimes when you're out in the wilderness, you got
That's hunger.
It was late. There was drug addicts around. I had to get back
blame
to
it
the
on
hotel
Roman.
room.
He led you guys astray.
That is true. I've been stuck in the wilderness too, where I was like, "Oh man, I'll spend $68 on a pizza right now."
I hate you people sometimes. White Bear, how you doing, Mr. White Bear?
How you doing? I got the best Joker behind me.
Ooh, that's gonna be a controversial topic. Vex, how are you?
Well, technically, I have the best Joker behind me.
Oh,
Mr. Boker.
And then speaking of jokers,
But I'm good. How about you?
we're doing well. We're doing well. Nicopa, how are you, Mr.
Oh, I have the best Joker behind me. No, I don't. Wait, never mind.
Don't call
you
your,
have nothing.
call your
I
baby a
am.
Joker.
I am a Joker. What's up?
Yo.
How you doing?
Yo.
How
Oh.
you doing?
All right. Well, we do have another special guest too. There's no other way to introduce him. It's just we have the Clown Prince of Gotham himself joining the show tonight, and of course, it's very fitting because of the movie we're talking about. That is Mr. Joker voice himself.
Hello, and whoever said they have the best Joker behind them is a damn liar.
I just
Because
can't.
I have the best Joker behind me.
I thought you are the best Joker.
Well,
How can
Mark
you
has
behind
retired, so now I am the best. Yes.
Absolutely love. I love the dedication.
Is it a coincidence that Whitey left the screen and then Joker appeared?
That's because Joker's whiter
Yes.
than him right now.
I think Joker is Whitey or Whitey is Joker.
Ooh, I like that theory.
Conspiracy theory.
How did Joker throw his voice like that?
Wow, that's amazing.
He's
Oh.
got an old reel-to-reel tape recorder, and he just makes it work.
Vintage, not old.
Vintage. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and break down this movie. Of course, it's Joker starring Joaquin Phoenix. Copa. Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, not Rocky, like,
Rocky,
or rock him, like
Rock him.
backstage.
It's a different nationality
Sounds
altogether.
like a damn wrestler named Rockin' Phoenix.
Dude, that is actually a pretty good
Yeah.
wrestling name. Rockin' Phoenix.
So this
That's
is
the
Trademark.
other brother that didn't die from a drug overdose.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Ouch. God, Vex coming with the fire.
You know, you do a speedball one time
and then you drop
and you
dead.
die.
Yep.
So,
Going down the river, as we
this movie was made in 2019. It's considered a neo-noir psychological thriller. Directed by Todd Phillips. And Copa, what other movies did Todd Phillips direct?
The Hangover and the Hangover trilogy and Due Date.
So
Off the top of
Comedies,
my head.
mainly.
Oh, and what was the one with Will Ferrell where they were all fraternity brothers, but they're all in their mid-30s?
Old school?
Old school, yeah.
So this is a big deviation for him. When he was announced for this, a lot of people were very skeptical because they're like, what the hell does he know about writing dramas, especially about the Joker or
Well,
DC?
it makes sense if you think about it because he's a comedic director.
Thank
Yeah, so it made sense to me at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't know how far how dark it was going to get, but
Well, look out dark.
And isn't it the general rule, I guess, that comedic actors, at least comedic actors and stuff, transition to a drama well because making folks laugh is harder than any other emotion to evoke.
Yeah.
It is, and also if you delve deep enough into most comedians, they have a lot of inner issues going on that they
Mhm.
do comedy to cover up with. So most of the really good comedians maybe had like a crappy childhood.
Usually that's the case. They have some depression issues or some dark, hidden past. And Copa's right. This movie did get darker than Newark at midnight. Is what this movie got.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I didn't. It's dark there.
Oh,
Yeah. So the movie is set in 1981, and it follows Arthur Fleck as a failed clown, aspiring stand-up comedian who has mental illness, and it just goes off the rails from there. It's a very I know everybody's got strong opinions about this movie. I rewatched it again this weekend, so we'll just get into it, I guess. It's really just, and we always talk about in movies when you
Dead presidents? Wow.
Oh God, you are a sick bastard, Whitey. Never change, man.
He would have died at the end from the cops if he were that. Whitey.
Wow. Yes, I see the chat. I do see the chat. Let's see, we got R2 Icky in the chat, and of course, Jana Catania. Hello, Mama Catania.
yo, what's up,
Yo.
girl? Hey,
What's up? Hey, you two. I think you two would get along. Coco.
I think we should
talk.
hook up.
Mama Kenobi
Mickey Kid.
Sasquatch. Yes. The Wheel Snakes is in the chat. How you doing there, buddy? Booming Bob. I love that name, by the way. Booming. The Gourd King. What is up, my man? Of course, Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch. She said, boys, I made the poll. Okay. Nosferatu.
In my town, that means something completely different.
I'm thinking the other kind of poll. What are you talking about?
Listen, it's what's in there. We were starving, and Cannoli was acting like an autistic soul.
Well, yeah.
This is the ongoing joke in the house now. Thank you, Vex.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So much.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mrs. Cannoli already said. Jacob Ironside. Hello, sir. The Gourd King I already announced. Thank you, sir. Some guy named Shieldwall the Dragons. I don't know who the hell that is. Trey Catlet is in that. We got a lot of people in here. Hunty's in the chat. Some guy named Copa, and I think we
Gay.
pretty much got through it. Yeah, so we talked about this movie being pretty dark. I think the first few seconds of this movie pretty much set the tone. So basically we have the Joker, Joaquin, not Rakim. Joaquin.
Not Rakim, the greatest MC
Phoenix.
of all time.
Dude, he is pretty badass. I'm not gonna
Dude,
lie.
he is-
Eric
like,
B and
look.
Rakim, badasses.
Yeah, we could switch this to a hip hop stream if you really want to, because
can do it.
Rakim was hands down the best.
Yeah, easily. I thought it was positively chipper. It was a very happy moment. So obviously the opening scene here, he's dressing up as a clown for his job, and this part was fucking disturbing, man. It's just he's trying to present a fake smile to himself because he's a very sick individual in the head. He's got some mental illness issues.
I misunderstood. Thank you very much.
I love this because he's trying to force a smile and crying at the same time. Anybody have those days? You're trying to force a smile but crying at the same time.
Yeah,
I
I
never
a lot
cry.
next time.
I'm
We know.
crying all the
Women
time.
experience that every month. So
Ouch. Jesus Christ. That is true.
And some men too.
I knew what he was going to say.
Yeah. And here we are with the obviously the we talked about this before the stream in the green room there with the atmosphere. Obviously, we know if you follow any of the production information that came out, this was heavily inspired by Taxi Driver, Scorsese, and The King of Comedy. Obviously, watching this immediately, you could tell.
Yeah.
the
I'd like
aesthetic-
to talk about that a little bit.
Of course,
real quick,
yeah.
Is how the city itself is its own character. And it's unlike a lot of the other like DC movies that show Gotham. This place looks livable, looks lived in. Where some of the other ones were so dark, it was like, why would anybody live there?
Yeah.
It's like no sunlight ever. But here, it looks like the time period.
Right.
It's got all the
Early
problems
80s.
that a major city would have.
Well, yeah, because the time frame of this, Reagan had just gotten elected, and the previous 4 years, the country was in such just financial, almost ruin. So starting to climb out of that, this is exactly how how this time period looked and felt.
Mhm.
What I have to say is, the set designer and production team definitely deserved an Academy Award. I can't remember if they got one for this or not, but yeah, I mean, that is Times Square in the 70s and the 80s, right? Was all the strip clubs and porno theaters and stuff like
But the
that.
strip clubs had air conditioning, Copa.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and
Yeah.
the city's under. So you listen to the radio. He's listening to radio while he's putting on the makeup, and there's a trash strike.
Mhm.
There's a homeless problem. There's
Mhm.
drugs everywhere.
Class
There's
warfare.
corruption, class warfare. Right? People can't get jobs. Inflation.
powder
is out
keg.
of control.
Oh, it sounds familiar.
No, exactly.
California.
Right.
Oh, modern day America.
but they dress the city up so well, and to
They do a
build
great
off
job.
of what Shieldwall was saying, it becomes its own character, and that's what you lose in a lot of modern day filmmaking. And I have to give praise to this film. Like, they definitely made sure, like, the production team and the production designer and set designer all made sure that they were also playing into the story as well. They were telling their version of the Joker with the other like the director and the cinematographer. It's far too often now that everybody's just on set making a movie.
Wow.
So-
this movie was not nominated.
No, so this was universally panned by critics because they said that it was playing into the
Incel.
angry white male incel,
Cool.
and so they all reviewed it negatively. But the Oscars actually kind of received it well. I think it was nominated
11
for Best
nominations.
It's
11.
because,
Yeah.
it's because it went against the narrative and of what they don't want to admit, that there's people out there that go through this every day. You know what I mean? That he's just trying to live his life. He's had a crappy life. Part of the reason he's not just mentally ill because he's crazy. He was mentally ill because he was abused. He had a TBI, traumatic brain injury,
Mhm.
when he was a kid, which is why he has this problem that he has and the
Right.
issue he's got. Nobody understands him. You know, there's no cameras anywhere. There's no cell phones. There is no internet by this point. So he can't go online and like get with people. He's alone. He's isolated. He's trying to make a living, and he wants to be a comedian because later on you find out his mom is always telling him that he's born to make the world happy. He needs to be happy all the time. So he takes that persona on, and that's why he wants to be a clown and a stand-up comedian. But at every turn, somebody's got to mess with him. They just can't let him live his life, which, like, these kids steal his sign. He's just trying to make some work, and they steal his sign, and then they beat the crap out of him.
And he took that sign to the face too. I was like,
yeah.
oh,
loser.
And if anybody's been paying attention to the news, this is like every day in cities. Hordes of kids just beating the crap out of people.
Something very interesting about this movie too is, like, despite like everyone critically panning it over here in the West, it actually did far better internationally than it did domestically, oddly enough. This was a huge success. Like, it almost triple the amount was made internationally compared to domestically.
I think a lot of it was Europe too.
Europe and China really loved this movie.
Yeah,
the
and
Chinese
you can
market
tell
especially.
Europe really likes this kind of gritty cinema that America used to produce, especially in the 70s, when we were going through the American New Wave with Scorsese, Spielberg. Well, Spielberg wasn't gritty, but like Coppola and all of them, they all had these like gritty films out, and Europe really loved them. And this is kind of a throwback to that. And I could see why, like, France, Italy, and the UK would just really flock to something like this.
Even then, like, a lot of European cinema right now still goes for this gritty, dramatic, more realistic edge. So I can understand for that reason too why it did well.
This scene right here, has anybody ever had to do any kind of like mandatory therapy or anything for any reason?
No comment.
Well, okay, so if you have they do, like, in the military, they do traumatic brain injury reviews and stuff. And sometimes, depending on what you're doing, or if you're going up for security clearance or something, you have to go in and get a psych eval. And I've supervised and worked with people that later on they got out and they go through this process. and they have an injury like he does, right? So they have something going on, and they go in, and this is like the VA right here in some places, not all, but some, where it's a little room, it's understaffed. This person has 300 or 400 caseloads, literally, and they're trying to get through them all. And this whole thing, they got him on all kinds of medications. They have him do a journal, but he doesn't want to show her because he knows the stuff in there is messed up. Right. And look at her. She's like, what the? But just how this whole system tries to help, but really doesn't. Is just kinda...
And then he's got this condition, right? It's chronic laugh, supposedly.
Well, I wanted to address that because I thought that was actually an interesting explanation for the Joker's laugh, and that it's actually painful for him.
Right.
And I thought that was a very interesting take on that. It's not just demoniacal nihilism. It's something that actually causes him pain.
Yeah, because when he comes into the scene, he starts laughing immediately, right, to this scene, and you're thinking, oh god, this guy is obviously something really loose here, and then mentally, and then you find out, yes, it's a condition. He has a card for it, especially that it comes in later, where he'll show people that, and it hurts his throat, like he's, because he's laughing so much.
And if you look at the set piece too, if you go back a couple frames,
sorry, buddy.
Smoking inside.
There's
dreary, dark,
but they're all choked up as well. Like every window is covered up, or if they, like the window on the outside too. If you go back forward one frame, all there is just like two plants in a window. Yeah, and then you have
no sunlight.
Yeah, and then you have the like guard on the window too. So like everything is just choked.
That's because this, I think, is at a mental hospital.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that the set piece is giving to the character of the Joker, which is he's being slowly choked to death.
There's no escape.
There's no escape, but yet his mind is scattered and it's all over the place, and that's why you see all these papers and stuff everywhere, because it has nowhere else to go but outwards.
Right.
And if you notice about these sets is that almost none of these buildings are new. So if you look at this building was probably built in the 50s or 40s even. All the stuff in here, like the radio, the lamps are from the 60s at the earliest. The typewriter might be the newest thing in there. This right here is really, I just hope my death makes more sense than my life.
Yeah, didn't he say he was using this to write down his stand-up comedy stuff too? And then you find out
I've had to do journals like this before, and what winds up happening is you start just doing stream of consciousness sometimes, and that's what that statement in the middle is.
Okay, right, that makes sense.
And it's also a throw. It's a throw to Taxi Driver as well, because if you remember, his entire narration is actually through his notebook.
Yep. Great movie. God damn, that was a good movie.
Oh yeah. And in that movie too, he was a Vietnam vet who's obviously experienced some kind of a traumatic brain injury.
He's got some problems.
Yeah, or he was just one of those draftees that were low IQ and somehow made it out of Vietnam.
Well, there was a program that they had that McNamara had where they specifically took people with 100 or less IQ and put them all in the same unit.
Right.
And put them into combat.
Wow.
I believe experiment to see if they could do something.
And I believe that unit, like, I think it had like a 85% casualty rate.
Right. It had way more casualties because the people didn't know what they were doing. The military has done studies on IQ since before World War I, and they have come to the conclusion that anybody with an IQ less than 86 cannot be effectively trained to do any job.
Right. Wow. Like you can't even mentor somebody with less than an 85 IQ into doing a job.
The only thing that they're really fit for in a military sense is manual labor, like ditch digging and taking out the trash and stuff.
Yeah.
Now this right here, when he's interacting with the kid, you actually get a moment when he's actually happy.
Yeah. He's interacting with the kid. He's doing fun. He's like wanting to make him happy and smile, right? So, yeah.
And then, just like we said, when he finally gets to experience this moment,
he gets taken away.
Mom the mom turns around and just takes a big shit on him.
Yeah, Lizzo gets mad at him, takes it away from him. No, yeah, and again, I felt you feel kind of bad for him because he gets embarrassed and then he starts laughing because of that condition.
Right.
And then she's attacking him like, "Hey, what does he think this is funny?" And he brings out the card. Obviously, there it is. Tells you about his condition.
There's
Why that's a much better background. Thank you, sir.
There's another aspect to that interaction, though. I think that she was like, "Hey, don't mess with this guy," because she didn't want something to happen between him and her kid, and then it's like, "Oh, this little black kid started something," and now, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
A, he's a weirdo, but B, she always has that in the back of her mind.
Jana, wow.
Of you know what I mean? You don't interact with white people because they can turn on you, and next thing you know, the cops show up, and then you're immediately going to be the one in trouble.
Right.
It's the mindset that I'm thinking that she's having. Plus, she's a mother in this, like some.
Yeah, it's her son. It's a stranger. Right. Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. And then again,
that is just a beautiful shot, though.
Yeah, it's great. Gloomy New York City. Well, Gotham.
And did you notice that she didn't give him the card back?
Right.
Yeah. I never did see her give the card back. I was kind of wondering about that.
Oh, interesting.
So it's another hit at him. It's like, I have this problem. I'm trusting you with this card, and she's just like, yeah, whatever, weirdo.
And then
they filmed this in the Bronx, New York, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Some of it, yes. Yeah.
And then we come to just this right here is such an important visual thing. That big staircase, the steps, yes, because up until the big reveal, he is always walking up, and there's some light there. So he's trying. It's just from what I took this as, he's trying to do the right thing. He's trying to be a good human being, a good son, whatever. And at the end, when he's going down the steps, and he's free, and he's the more free he gets, is the more he descends down into madness.
Right. South Bronx. Yep. That's my favorite weight loss plan. No kidding.
Yeah,
dude.
and that staircase also is every day he goes home. He has to climb. It's a
trudge.
It's a trudge, and then he has to go deal with his mother.
Right.
On top of it, yeah.
A very lovely lady.
Lovely person.
Well, when she was younger, she kind of looked hot.
Who played his mom?
Casting. I just actually had.
I can't remember her name. I think it's Frances something.
I'm looking it up. I got it, guys. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Copa. Frances Conroy.
Okay. I was gonna say I knew she looked familiar.
Yeah, sure. You had it on the tip of your tongue and just let me.
Frances.
Waffle.
Fuck you, Cope. I swear to
and
God.
So wait a minute. So Shieldwall said that she was a looker back in the day. So we're gonna
supposedly look at all these medications.
Look, I trust Shieldwall.
So I believe him.
Yeah, when later on in the movie they're doing an interview.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
She's kind of got a cock eye.
This
isn't looking good.
I thought you said a cock in her eye. No, she's got a cock eye.
Might have gotten a cock in your eye.
That might have been what happened to her eye.
Yeah, that's probably what happened to her eye.
Thomas Wayne got a cock in her eye.
Well, I was just gonna say because we see right from the start here that she has a fascination with the Waynes.
Oh God,
she used to work there and thinks that Thomas Wayne is just the greatest thing since sliced bread. That's a complete damning filthy lie. But
lies.
Well, she believes that she had an affair with Thomas Wayne as well. Is the other thing. Also, this is from what I was reading when I was collecting the trivia for this. Apparently, there's only one other like alternate universe where Thomas Wayne is like cruel and a womanizer and everything. And this movie took a lot of inspiration from
that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Bobby.
Now this right
King
here,
of Comedy Part 2.
Well, this is like almost color for color, beat for beat, the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson,
Yes.
which was the biggest late night TV talk show of all time.
Mhm.
And the sidekick was
Yes.
basically Ed McMahon.
Yes, he was. Yes, absolutely. Hell, you are correct, sir.
Yeah, and this is the scene where he's watching this with his mom, and he's imagining himself in the audience. Of
Right.
course, poor guy's just looking for acceptance anywhere, and
This
Just
sets
love.
up a
Just
lot of
love.
stuff
Love.
that happens later in the movie
Yes.
with his imagination and all this kind of stuff.
yeah, it's a wild ride. Yeah, he looks so creepy, man. You did this well, Joaquin.
52 pounds he lost.
Oof.
Oof.
Yeah.
You could see it, well, obviously, but yeah, it's God. There's Mr. De Niro playing the talk show host.
Prick.
It's a shame too.
It is a shame that he's
As
It
if this scene couldn't get any more low testosterone, they added Bob De Niro to it.
Yeah,
Right?
it's got like 6-inch lifts on the bottom there.
Yeah, he has to. Oh, look at poor Arthur
Right.
Fleck. Just wants love.
Yeah, just going through, imagining in the moment that he's up
Yeah.
there and somebody.
What is
almost like
hatching
a
out of his
father figure.
back? Can anybody guess? Jesus Christ.
Alien.
Page.
Yeah.
That's AIDS.
God, Whitey.
What's
Yeah.
of it?
Yeah, poor
It's
guy.
they're funny AIDS, so don't worry.
Very funny. Oh, this guy. So
Mm.
this guy is a fucking piece of shit. He likes to take advantage of Arthur, of course, right?
Right.
And play on his emotions. And
This actor, wasn't he in Total Recall? He was a piece of shit in that one too, wasn't he?
Oh, was that Arnold?
Oh.
Yeah, Arnold
Yeah.
Buddy.
This dude
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
not
yeah.
play a piece of shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
you
Typecasting.
piece of shit. Yeah, and he keeps calling him his boy. It's fucking
Right.
weird. Like, yeah, my boy. Oh God, shut up. Yeah, but so this is where he's basically he's talking to Arthur about how he got jumped, and you got to stand up for yourself. And Arthur's kind of playing it off, and just give the guy a gun. Just give him a gun.
Yeah.
You're just selling a gun, yeah.
Yeah. No big deal. He's like, hey, there you go. Nobody's got to know that I gave this to you.
doesn't even sell it to him. He just straight out gives it
Just
to him.
hands it to him.
Yeah.
That little guy's great.
I might be alone in saying this, but I thought this
Please
little
do.
British midget was absolutely adorable.
I
Did you want to
He's
pick him
great.
up and hug him?
When he's panicking in fear later in the movie, he's like, "Oh my god, I know you're scared,
Oh.
but you're so gosh darn adorable when you're scared." It's
Is it
Yeah,
wrong
I mean,
that
I'd
You
hate
little pixie.
is it wrong that
You little
I
pixie of a man.
when we get to that part,
Leprechaun.
I actually laughed out loud on that scene. Am I an asshole? Because he couldn't reach the door.
I mean, they meant for you too.
I
the
know,
comedy-
poor
the
guy. I
dark
was-
comedy of the moment
Oh,
was
yeah.
probably the best joke in the whole fucking entire movie.
Yeah,
now,
but
Vex, I just want to give him a hug.
he plays, but that character plays, I wouldn't say a significant role, but he plays a piece in how Arthur interacts with the world and how he's
Mhm.
treated. So when we get to that part, we can talk
Yes.
about it.
Yeah,
But
Also,
he is kind of a more significant character than you would think.
Yeah, and it sets up the perimeter as well to what the bounds of Arthur's kind of, I guess, evil side are too, which is interesting.
yes.
They don't set him up as a. The one problem I have with this film is I would love this film if it weren't a Joker origin film.
See, that's what I was saying before the stream.
I like you, Vex. Mind your tongue.
It could have been a man, just about a man with mental illness, and they could have played it off that. But they added the Joker.
But like,
woman.
yeah.
But here's the thing: if you did that, then it's just a
Nobody
it's
goes
just
to
a
see
taxi
the movie.
driver Twins
Yeah.
comedy mashup, and that's
It doesn't
all
make
it
it.
is.
It doesn't make $1 billion. At that
Yeah.
That's why they threw the Joker on there.
Like, it's a great movie, don't get me wrong. I just like that the Joker has like some animosity to him and
Mhm.
that sense of unknown, and having even an adaptation try to explore that, it ruins how evil the character is. So I'd rather maybe they did this with a different Batman villain that had an origin story instead.
Yeah,
But-
this whole process makes him way too sympathetic.
That's the problem
yeah.
I have with him is the Joker is kind of like an epitome of evil for Batman. I don't want to feel sympathy for him. I shouldn't at any point feel sympathy for him.
Yeah,
Which is
I mean,
funny
I
though,
just-
because
The
Nolan's
abuse
Joker,
the abuse I take from,
with
from
Nolan's
that
Joker,
asshole.
you sat there and you sympathize. You didn't sympathize with him, but you understood what he was doing so much so that throughout the film you were sitting there going, "Dude, am I kind of rooting for the Joker to win on this one?"
And that's the problem I have with it is like I was rooting for him and I'm just like, but this is the fucking Joker. I shouldn't be wanting to root for him, even if
Right.
this is and all that's all. Like, it's a good movie. I'm not saying that it's a bad movie. It just takes away a lot of the allure of the Joker villain.
That's what I was saying about Chris Nolan's Joker, is that you sat there and went, I'm kind of rooting for Chris Nolan's Joker to see where this is all going, at least.
Because there's some mystery to it, and
Right.
it's intriguing, right? But now I'm just like, oh man, he was raped as a boy and hit in the head. Of course he was. That's how we got all this, you know?
Yeah, that makes me want to kill rich people.
Right. It's too easy of a cop out. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and then it's a string of being treated like crap, being belittled, being physically assaulted multiple times, you know, and nobody giving a shit about him.
And there is,
but that's the thing. Go ahead, Joker.
And there is some elements from the Killing Joke, where the guy can just never catch a break, and at some point, you just have that one bad day, and that is the moment when madness becomes an option.
Well, right. There's a lot of factors that play into his eventual evolution into the Joker.
You know what? Yes. You guys convinced me. I sympathize with Aaron Hernandez. Yeah, he had CTE and killed 2 people, but man, he's
fucking Copa. So this is where we get introduced to Zazie Beetz. Is that her name?
Yes.
Zazie Beetz.
Yeah.
Sophie. She plays Sophie in the movie. And
wait, her name is seriously Zazie Beetz?
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
she was in Deadpool.
Yeah.
I think this girl is hot as shit. I'm sorry.
She is.
When she has her afro out.
Oh my god,
man, she was fine as Domino.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With her hair out,
she's attractive. Yes, very.
Yeah,
attractive.
even kind of like in a simpler look like this, like I crush on this girl so hard. My goodness. I totally understand why Arthur Fleck was having weird
fantasies about her.
Why he jumped her out.
Yeah.
And then she made the mistake of like. But now here's the thing: this is one interpretation. I read this the other day. Was he imagining that she did the playful, put her gun, did that gun to her head?
I thought that was real.
I think it was real too.
That was a real interaction in the elevator, which then set him on the path of what happens later.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then Nosferatu is absolutely correct. I called it immediately. I was like, no way she can get with this dude.
Male monster. Wow.
100%. Yeah. He even physically, the way he carries himself is very awkward. He lacks confidence. So what is a single mother gonna want to do with this?
Right.
And she and
unless he was rolling in, had gold chains, had a lot of bills, then maybe.
Right.
Well, that would be a different Joker. Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be the one with the grill.
Yeah.
Now this scene here is, for me, one of the most disturbing things. His mom is naked and he's bathing his mother. I'm just like, ugh.
Well, people get old and elderly, but I
thought
that we were about to have The Shining happen here.
I
was like, don't show me those things.
I thought this was common in the eastern United States. You got a whole state that likes to fuck siblings and family members. So,
which one?
Virginia. West Virginia,
dude.
West Virginia.
The fact that he has to do this with her, bathe her, and there's no home for her to go to, is because if you keep listening in the radio and see the newspaper, the systems are all broken. They're all failing.
There's nowhere for her to go.
Yeah. There's really nowhere for her to go. Exactly.
This is supposed to be also a time when asylums and stuff like that were getting shut down.
Right.
But they were also at one time extremely abused. People could be committed, and the problems that people were having in these mental asylums were terrible.
One flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Yeah.
But there's one
sucker punch.
There's always one thing you want to give a mentally ill person who takes medication. It's a gun to play with.
Well, of course.
Well, it was piece of shit dude. They gave it to him. So
very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
And now this right here is where we start to see the seed of the transformation, because when he dances around, this is kind of the trigger, that kind of the on switch.
Nah, I get it.
This is also
I don't know. I did not really love seeing him trying to reenact Jim Morrison bullshit right here. And like show me like 20 minutes of him, tripping the light fandango over here, and just to only like fuck around and find out. But it's like, well,
at least
I think that they used. Sorry.
No. Go finish your.
I'm just saying that they used a lot of time in this. This is why I found myself looking at my phone through this film at times, because I was just like, I get it. He's going fucking crazy here, but you don't have to give me the full, Lizard King.
See, and this is why I think Taxi Driver is much more superior, because with at least De Niro in that one, you see him slowly building up to what he's going to become, and at the same time, he's like testing his strength, like holding his arm over an open gas flame and stuff like that, seeing how much pain he could take, and stuff like that.
But the Joker's not that type of person. He's not any physical imposing person.
Neither was De Niro in Taxi Driver. He was just as
very similar frame, right?
Yeah,
I feel like De Niro was a little more jacked.
He was cut in that one, that's for sure.
Yeah,
it's like a more painted up version of Falling Down.
But he's still just a low T little man.
Yeah.
I was going to say the dancing scene was a little more foreshadowing of what we end up seeing happen between with the girl and him, with Zazie Beetz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you know what I thought of immediately when I first saw him dancing around like that? It puts the lotion on.
Yeah,
yeah, I can see it. I can see it
doing a little touchy.
Yep. He's going to be cutting the skin off somebody's back in the next 24 hours.
I like how he fires the gun off into the wall, and his mom's like, "What was that noise?"
It's a
revolver.
revolver,
I'm watching a war movie.
It's a revolver. How incompetent do you have to be?
Yeah, you have.
It's not like it's a some.
Well, this is where you can see the naivety of his character as well now, right? So.
Yep. And then now he starts to stalk Zazie. I'm just going to call her Zazie Beetz. I like her name. And starts following her around. Not creepy at all.
Yeah. I bet this sequence right here.
He's making sure she is safe.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, that's how I interpret it too.
I bet this sequence right here is what triggered all of like the media and all that. Oh, he's a creepy incel and all this kind of stuff. And they're looking at it face value. That's what it looks like.
Oh, sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Go back just once.
Right
I was going to say, because now that by the end of the film that we know that this is all like him imagining things, rewatching this particular shot of outside the bank, when you have a dream and it takes place in a real place you've been to, but there's something clearly off about the environment. Yeah. That's how it felt looking at this scene, watching it a second time now. This shot feels like there's something wrong with it. There's something not quite right with it.
Real, right?
But the question is, was this real? I think he really stalked her like this.
I think it's very likely he did, but it's it's open to interpretation by the end of the film, right? Given how much
he might just be wandering the streets, and this is where he ended up.
Exactly, because this one instance that was only like 10 seconds long felt really out of place and awkward almost for intentionally.
It's a good observation.
Now, is this at the moment that? No, this isn't. I was wondering if this is by then that they've cut off his medicine, or if he was
not yet.
Not yet. No, he's still on all his meds.
Yeah, which weren't really helping. I don't think in the first place. But
I like how he goes. He had the scene with the nightclub, and he's just observing, and he's got this awkward laugh, like he's trying to fit in with everybody else.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But because
stop.
Yeah.
But he's laughing at all of the off times of the joke.
Right. I also felt like he has this look on his face at certain times where he's like, "Don't laugh, don't go into a laughing fit."
Do you think that, or is he wondering why everybody else is laughing at the other times? Like,
no,
that's what I'm.
No. I think he knows that it's not that. He laughs sometimes when it's because he's thinking to himself about what kind of joke he's going to write, and it makes him laugh. But he gets this look on his face. This is my impression anyway, that he's scared that he's going to go into a laughing fit. And this part that he writes here.
Yeah, this was fucking disturbing. Yeah. And then I don't know if I can land on the exact wording, but it's basically here it is.
It says
here you go, sorry.
The worst thing about mental illness is people expect you to behave as if you don't have it.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty telling statement.
Whoever came up with the
What's up,
notes
Logical
in
Spark?
the notebook is fantastic.
They've obviously
did-
been through therapy. I guarantee it.
They did
Either
a
that-
lot. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, like, they either been through therapy themselves or they've gathered like a lot of intel on like therapy notes and
A
sessions.
lot
and
of
stuff.
research, lot of research to get this down the way they did. Yeah.
Or they
Mhm.
or that they just tracked down to Heath
Ledger.
notebooks to when he locked himself in a hotel room for a month.
Jesus
Maybe.
What
Yeah,
the hell
maybe.
is subtle deviancy talking about?
Who knows?
Travis Tickle. It's Travis Tickle. Yeah.
Pickle.
Travis Bickle.
Travis Pickle.
After watching this movie, I wanted to go over and watch Taxi Driver immediately after. God, Taxi Driver was so goddamn good.
It is. It's one of the best movies ever made.
God, it's so good.
Why
So
haven't
Z-
we reviewed that yet, by the way?
I'm
We should.
sorry. Put it on the list, Vex.
Maybe
Wait,
that
what?
okay, maybe that'll be next up after Mission Impossible.
Ooh, that would be nice.
I thought, what do we have? We'll talk about it later.
We've got the
We'll
next
do it.
5 weeks planned out, so we'll go
Yes.
over it
We'll-
later.
We'll go over it. We'll go over
Yeah.
it. That's a good
Don't
idea.
put any more
actually.
movies on here that made me want to slip my fucking wrist.
Okay,
Have you
put it
not
on-
seen
next
Taxi Driver,
movie
Whitey?
is Taxi Driver.
Do you think that there are times with his acting where his kind of charisma kind of shows through maybe a little too much? You know what I mean? Because there are times when he can be very charismatic when he wants to be,
Mhm.
and in certain instances, maybe it kind of
much.
shows. Yeah, it kind of slips through.
I know. What do you think, Copa?
What?
You mean
Or
like
just
you
charisma.
mean like this scene here?
But kind of look at how his face is
Well-
like right here.
well,
I think that's
His eyes-
intentional, though. He's
Yeah.
trying to
Well,
impress
because-
a woman right now.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Because this is in his mind. This is in his mind.
Right.
This is
Okay.
not
Sorry, I
Yeah,
lost
so-
where we were in the thing. I thought this was another
He's
scene.
somewhat normal right now.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
like,
in his mind,
in his
he-
mind. I mean,
Right.
You know,
He's
like he's actually cool
right.
and suave
Yeah.
in some way.
Because, hey, I'm stalking you. Yeah, and she even says like, "Hey, you've been following me." And anybody in any normal situation, if you said, "Yeah," the girl's probably not going to smile back and go, "Oh, I thought so." You know, it's-
Right.
So
Which-
right now, rewatching it again, I'm like, how the fuck did I not catch on quicker?
You're autistic. That's why.
Yeah,
I'm
the M.
autistic.
Night
I'm
Shyamalan,
autistic. They did.
There you go.
As Vex
Alright.
said, I have my own conditions, so I couldn't see it for what it was. Yeah, and then again, he's playing a clown in the hospital. He's in a kid's hospital, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Correct.
Yep.
He's dancing around.
Mhm.
And then he
And
slips and
something-
falls. And
Yeah,
then,
the gun comes out, and then bad things start happening.
But
I like how
this scene where he's dancing around, look at how many kids are packed in here, right? This is a very depressing scene. They're
Mhm.
trying to be happy. He's trying to be happy, but everybody knows that it's not fun. The
No.
clown is fucking creepy, and the
Mhm.
kids are just kind of coming and playing along
Right.
until they can get out of there. That's how bad it is, you know.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
kids with cancer want to get out of the room.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I like how he's like, putting his hand over his mouth, like, "Oh, don't tell anybody." Nobody saw the gun come out though.
And that's when someone laughs. And that's the
Yeah,
kid
the-
laughs.
one of this
Yeah.
This kid
Yeah.
right here, I think, starts laughing. Yeah. And then obviously his boss finds out, and
Mhm.
really, this is the turning point for him in this movie, where he
One of them.
One of them.
Well,
I think the biggest one. This is the biggest one because he's
No.
based almost
No.
at rock bottom here.
No, the
This is
hinging
not
point
yet.
for him is
The
the
train?
revelation between his mom and
Oh, the
the-
Wayne.
the hospital.
Yeah.
that's the
hospital.
hinge.
When the entire house of cards comes up.
Well, would you say this is? Well, actually, we'll get.
this
to
is
that
this
soon.
this is this is just
This is
more
one domino.
This
Now
is
that
just
is a
domino.
fantastic shot.
Yeah,
With
really.
with the-
Fantastic. There is
Okay.
nothing to critique other than give
Right.
that one positivity. Fantastic.
Now-
That speaks 1,000 words right there.
Mhm.
You see everything, right? He's depressed.
That's the entire
Angry.
movie right there in
Angry.
one shot.
Yep.
He's angry. And just, yeah.
It's good directing.
'cause-
Now-
yeah.
Now this here, my one biggest critique of this film was I hated the makeup, and it was the red on his nose that for me just threw it completely off. Here, take off the little bald cap or whatever, and it looks it looks great. It's that red on
He
his
puts
nose.
the clown nose. Oh, I know what you're talking
You're
about.
talking about
Okay.
later on, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know what you're
Okay.
talking
So this is how you wish he would have looked like when he goes out at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I thought the right on the nose makes him look more sinister in the version that he has at the end of the film. That's my
Goofier.
because he naturally has a hook nose. That's why. So it looks a little more
Right.
imposing.
Oh, and this chick here with the boots,
Mhm.
chef's
Yeah.
kiss, she is hot, especially with people like that.
Yeah.
You would
That
give her
whole-
your fries. You would give her some fries there, but
No, those
Yes.
guys are douches, but
I wouldn't mind shooting her up. Let's
They work for Bruce Wayne. They work for Thomas Wayne. Of course,
Right.
they're assholes.
yeah,
right.
Thomas
They're
is a dick.
Stupid. in my
Obviously, they're drunk, and then they're fucking just tossing food at her and kind of being disruptive. And of course, this is where his laughing condition
Gets
comes
him in
in
trouble, right?
because he's uncomfortable. Yeah, and they think
They
he's
should have given him some French fries.
Jesus fucking Christ, Whitey. Why do I have you on the show?
Whataburgers.
That was great. That was
that's
good.
probably because they leave the car you're in immediately, so they see you coming.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm out of here.
Now,
And this, okay, no, this kind of was kind of like I'm like, okay, who actually knows the words to send in the clowns?
Yeah, and I've
Yeah,
never
that
been
was a
so
good-
drunk that I sing an entire.
Well, he is a college graduate.
it's a good shot.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
Right.
So they punch him, they beat him up, they're kicking him, and he has a gun on him now.
And then Domino falls.
So
again.
if you know New York subway lore and history,
Mhm.
this is Getz. What was his name? Michael Getz?
Leo.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Leo
No.
That's shit.
What you want, Leo? Get.
I did
No,
it.
it was what's his name? But anyway, he was a,
Okay.
Yeah. he was a dude on the subway, and a bunch of kids came up with sharpened
Bernie
screwdrivers
Getz.
and
Bernie
demanded
Getz.
money from him. Yeah, Bernie
Mhm.
Getz, and he just blasted the shit out of him.
Yep.
And
Yep,
then they were
remember
like, "Oh, it was overreacting," and whatever. So he got in a lot of trouble for it. But
Yeah,
They
so
fuck you in the subway.
So
They
he
fuck
shoots
you in the
one.
subway.
they fuck you in this. So they shoot one guy in the head. He shoots another guy in the
Now-
ass on the way out.
Okay, so
Look at
right
that.
there, that look, the minus that red on his nose, that look there, that looks good. That is more Joker.
and
I
also up to this point, you could argue self-defense
You could.
until he chases this guy down.
Yeah,
and runs him down, and
Boom.
he had it coming. I'm just-
Yeah, it's
he was
That's still
kinda
Italian
defensive.
self-defense.
Yeah, I
Don't
was
worry.
gonna say, you got to make sure they're
It's
down,
Italian
right, Coppola?
self-defense. Yeah.
That's why the mob, when they shoot you 12 times and one in the head.
My uncle committed suicide. 12 shots to the back of the
12
head. It was weird.
Why did he have 3 shots to his skull? We don't talk
Yep.
about
God,
Well,
did he know
yes.
Clinton?
We had to make sure it was
That's
working.
someone else said that, not me.
And I like how they have the after effects of the gunshots up close with the ringing in the ear.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That was a nice little touch because that would happen if you've ever shot a gun off close
yeah,
range
his little
without
snub nose.
yeah, without ear protection, and then
And so, okay, and so as he's running, this is just his normal mind is going, no, this is bad. You need to run and hide, run and hide, run and hide. Then he gets alone in here, and he starts to dance again.
so is
And
this his
it's-
full? Is this his transition? Finally,
No,
His
this
acceptance.
no, this is the starting point of it. This is the starting point when he's just starting to feel like I was right. They deserved it. And
Right. Yes.
it's every time he starts to dance is when it's because at first when he was in his house, it's very short. Now it's getting longer, and all his dance sequences get longer and longer and longer. The more free the madness gets in his mind.
Yeah,
Right. He's starting
Yeah.
to feel like his real self for the first
Power,
time in his
right.
life. Right.
that scene.
Like
That
who he
scene was
really is.
improvised. It was all improvised.
Yeah, the dance in the mirror was improvised, and they liked it so much they kept in the final
Kept it
cut.
in.
And that bathroom was a
Clean.
spectacular set piece.
Yeah,
right.
It had like the old like hand dryer stuff, and it was great. Except
Dirty.
nowadays there'd be 50 homeless people in there.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about with these set pieces, is the fact that they nailed it right. Now, with modern filmmaking, for some reason, if they do like a set piece that is a period drama like this one, the image always looks too clean, and that's always my first complaint, is like, you got to jack up these images. And Todd Phillips
like a world that's living in.
Yeah, and Todd Phillips made sure that this image doesn't look HD and crystal clear.
Right.
Everything's got like a fog machine. Every shot, I guarantee you, between each take, they had someone with a fog machine come in and kind of fog up the shot, so you got this like air of smoke everywhere.
Or they put a little like light sheen of Vaseline on the lens or something.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
the
images here is just so dingy. I love the
Fits.
look of this movie.
Yeah.
Or maybe I've never shot any film before, but couldn't they have used a technique to like recreate like that 80s feel?
It's just a filter, but it's a beautiful.
Are you talking about from like 35 millimeter film or something?
Yeah.
So back in the 70s, they still were getting color right. So a lot of those films on the 35 millimeter, they looked dingy because they were still dirty. The image wasn't terribly clear yet.
Right.
Things of that nature. So you fast forward like 40 years, 50 years, and all of a sudden you have HD cameras, but then they're shooting stuff for the 70s and it always looks too clean.
Absolutely.
And yeah, you can add an overlay, like a 35 stock overlay, and it will make the image dirty. But still, a lot of amateur filmmakers or even professional filmmakers will still not mess around with the image, like kind of blow out the highlights here a little bit,
Gotcha.
or oversaturate like terribly some things. So that's like common mistakes. But Todd Phillips here is making great calls.
Look at the door. They have the door.
Yeah,
looking like it's had scratches. It's had something else on there. It's not being worked on. They make you believe that they're living in a ratty building. Those walls, the paint on them, and everything that goes beyond beyond any type of filter that you can do with a computer program.
Exactly. Why do you look at the dust that's collected around the fisheye lens right there?
Right.
It's that kind of meticulous detail, the small details that make the best films. Like when they get the little details down.
Yeah.
Well, like you watch any of the movies that are depicting like the 20s, 30s and all that, or whatever, like the mob movie and all that, and they just slap on this filter, that is clearly just something out of Adobe, and it makes the whole movie have that one type of feel and that one type of look because somebody saw how photographs and how movies look from back then, and they just copy and paste it over and over and over.
Yep.
But like Cope was saying, none of those worlds usually actually live in. They don't show you the things from back then. They don't show you the refrigerators and the Frigidaires from back in the day. And just like I said, look at the door. Means that somebody took the time to take a little powder brush and smack the shit against that door, against the lens right there. So
I like that scene where he's like so confident now. He just goes into Zazie's apartment and just starts.
This is in his mind.
There's Vex's midget.
Adorable. He's like a little stuffed animal.
He's fun-sized.
Like this office that they're in for the clown changing room, that has got to be from like the 20s or 30s. That's how old it is.
Look at that.
And the time cards.
Yep.
The punch in, punch out.
Yeah, I like how here he gets pissed off, and they're like, "Why would you bring a gun to a kid's hospital? That's stupid." And he's like, "I don't know. Why don't you ask whatever the fuck his name was?"
Right. And then he says, "Well, it was your gun, right?" And he's like, "Hey,
yeah,
what the hell are you doing?"
Yeah. And I like how he comes back. He's like, "I forgot to punch out," and he beats the shit out of the cop.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny. Yeah.
Again, but that's another domino. But that's another domino. And then he starts laughing.
Yeah.
Where
and
he's
then
like,
he changes the sign.
The nihilism is starting to take shape.
Oh God, this cockeyed fucking lady again. The
Did
mom.
do you think they did a contact for that, or her eyes just messed up?
I think that's how it is. Right?
That's really her eye.
That's her eye.
She has that in a lot of the roles that she's in. I think it's naturally occurring.
Yeah. Call her cockeye lady from now on. Yeah, so he sees the report on the news about the people being killed. Of course, he's intrigued with himself, so he's going to listen
laughing,
in.
right.
He's laughing. And then this is where, like Vex was saying, we get the asshole interpretation of Thomas Wayne in this. Because he's basically, well, yeah, he basically says in this interview, like, well, people who are downtrodden and
they're just clowns.
They're clowns.
Yeah, he just basically sounds like 1980s Joe Biden.
They're
like
right. They're the that's his version of deplorables.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, something to mention that we might not have is that he's checking the mail previously because his mother is constantly writing letters to Thomas Wayne saying, "Hey, remember that time we banged it out, and now I have a son, and you need to pay up,
right?"
And everything. And so he has to deal with her. So he goes, "There's no letter." Then she wigs out, and he's got to deal with all that crap. Then she gives him another letter to mail, and it's just a repeating cycle where he just has to deal with her shit.
This is where his meds get cut off.
Yeah, this is where they tell that they're cutting social services and they're getting rid of her department. And she's like, they don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about me.
Right. At least she says that part. This is not keeping the junk for him, but she looks at him and finally tells him the truth. Like, look, they just don't give a shit about any of us. And I don't think it has to do with her being a black woman. It has to do with her position. They don't find it any value in trying to, or any. It's not. There's no value in trying to help these people that have these issues, or it's too hard and it costs too much.
Yeah,
it's easier just to let him die.
I mean, but can only go back 2 clicks. Right there. That's another domino. As he's just like, oh, all right.
Fuck it. Yeah. I'm going to lose everything now.
Nihilism.
So now he's going to go off his meds, which if they were doing anything before, they're definitely not going to be doing anything now.
Right.
Keeping him, maintaining his whatever sanity he had left. And that nonviolent part of his temper. And then he even says here, isn't this the scene where he says he was never happy a day in his life?
Yeah.
I think this is the scene, right? Yeah. And he's sick of pretending that he is.
It hits him that any support system that he thought he had, it was either non-existent or it's now gone for sure.
Yeah, and then were you saying this, Copa, earlier about the shots tight in on their faces to kind of make it feel like they're closed in and they have no way out kind of thing? I think he was saying that before, right? Yeah, I like that.
He was saying that about The Office, how The Office was structured with windows and the lighting and the amount of clutter and stuff. There's no room to move in there.
This part right here with the stand-up comedy. So he actually tries. Well, this is the thing. He tries to do his first stand-up comedy thing, and wow, does it not go well?
Right.
And then he just goes up there. He laughs because of his condition. He's uncomfortable, right? So he starts laughing, and then
in his mind, it's all of a sudden it plays out.
It starts
differently
to work. Yeah,
in his mind.
And then Zazie's in the audience
as he's thumbing through his book. Right, if you're in the front row, you can see some of his pages. He's got like disturbing, porno stuff
naked
pasted on there
pictures.
with like the woman's face scratched out.
Right.
Which then again feeds into the media narrative. Oh, he's an incel. He hates women.
Which is odd because there's no instance where he is outright hating women throughout this entire film.
Right.
He takes care of his mom. He has a crush on a single mother. He also is fairly respectful to his physician, like his mental health specialist.
Right.
So I don't get the incel angle at all that some people were talking about.
That's because it fits the narrative.
Yeah, that was made up.
At least get it to fit a little bit better, like
reaching a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, with the media, but the media will just make up things just to make up things, and then it could also be a separate studio outside of Warner Brothers, let's say Fox or somebody else, just starting these rumors so it hurts the box office.
I never even thought about that. That's a great point.
They do that all the time.
Okay.
They'll always start on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. And then again, here in his mind, he is now some of the stuff he is actually saying, but now it's like he's a hero now.
He's starting to become a hero, yeah. Yeah. And then he even says to like Zazie comes up to him and she's like, "Oh, it's pretty crazy, right?" And she's like, "Fuck him."
Right.
So now he's like,
Right.
"Oh, okay, cool." He sees the guy in the clown in the taxi driving by, clown mask driving by,
Looking at him, going, "Yes, you."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see right there.
Yep.
The other thing about his interactions with her here and later on in the hospital and all these others is he never really looks at her.
No.
Right.
Right. So he's either a Giga Chad or, you know.
But he's happy here because he's
Right.
dancing
Yes.
with her, and you could tell, like, you know, after being on a supposed date with her, and then this fame
Right.
he's gaining, he's starting to actually, you know, be happy. And he's trying to dance with his mom, and of course, cockeye lady is not having it.
Right.
But yeah, this is where, and again, this is where he actually sees the letter, and he just decides, "Hey, let me open this,
Woof.
see what's happening."
Woof.
Yeah, bad idea. Bad idea.
And now this is even more now, where as we've seen just a domino here, a domino there, a domino. This is almost like a foundation, like a foundational, like a pillar has just been taken out.
Mhm.
Right. Right. And it basically says in the letter, like, what, that he's the, you know, she's got to try to
Like,
get in contact with him because of he's the son, and
Yeah, and she's having a
Your
really
son
hard
needs
time, and it would be nice if you could help out and all
Right,
of this
right.
stuff. Yeah.
Right.
this poor
Right.
fucking
You know,
guy, dude. He just
And
relates
she
here.
has really nice handwriting.
Yeah,
not
she
for
does.
me, my son or your son.
Your son. Yeah.
Right.
Then he starts fucking. You hear her screaming and running into the
This
bedroom.
is
You're
how-
gonna kill me.
You're gonna
This
give
is
me a
how
heart
Me
attack.
Too. This is how Me Too started.
Wow.
With the crazy.
This is where the incel thing came through. He's chasing
Yeah.
his mom around.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you, lady. But yeah, he's trying to just get
Shocking.
answers, and it's bad.
Right.
Yeah, you know, again, like, and then, you know, you could see
And
Like,
then he makes a trip, and then he does a little
he's
trip.
gonna go somewhere. Probably not the best, smartest move he's made, but he's trying to
Definitely
get, trying to get information. But you can see all the papers,
not.
kill the rich and vigilante and all this stuff, and he just keeps gaining more popularity. And he takes part of the newspaper. Yeah, this part was crazy. Like, and watching the movie, I was like, where is he? I wasn't putting it together yet. I was
Well,
like, where's
the minute I saw
the
the
kid?
little boy, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that's Bruce.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
These little
There.
nuggets they throw in from the DC universe, man. I was like, oh wow, that's young Bruce Wayne, and then
Yeah.
obviously he's trying to make him laugh and smile because he thinks they're related.
And they made Alfred into like a little bitch.
Yeah, Alfred was a mean
Oh,
prick.
let go of me.
So just to go back a little bit, one thing that I noticed about all those papers is there's differing headlines, right?
Mhm.
From what side you're on. And they were almost all more sensationalized,
Mhm.
which is something that media does. But imagine if there was Twitter and the internet, how crazy it would have been
Right.
compared to 1981.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. And this is where he puts his hands on his mouth and tries to make him force a
Well,
smile. Yeah, see, yeah.
Now I actually, you know, when the kid had said I'm Bruce, I got chills. I was like, wow.
I'm Bruce.
I wish a clown would just come and stick his fingers in my mouth. They're saying.
Jesus,
I'm right here, Vex.
Yeah.
I
can't remember who just said it, but yeah, it was immediately apparent that was Bruce. The second I saw
Joker
it.
said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Alfred comes in. What do you want here? Get out! Yeah, he was kind of a pain in the ass, huh?
Alfred-
They just, you know,
Alfred's a dick.
They made Alfred super young and Wayne
Yeah.
super old in this. It should be the other way around though.
Mhm.
So I thought that was an interesting
Ah.
choice.
Good point.
Because Alfred raised Papa Wayne as well, right? Is the
He was with him for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
Mm.
with them for quite
To be
long
fair,
time,
he
yes.
could be old. He's just dyeing his hair and beard.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
Now, in one of the Batman universes, didn't Alfred actually like serve, in the British SAS or
Yeah, he was-
something?
Yeah, he was
That's
bad.
common.
So
That's common.
when I see this, I'm like, he would have yanked the fuck out of that dude and smashed his head
killed
into
him.
the gate. You know, he did
Yeah, yeah.
something, but he just stood there like, oh, this is awkward.
I'm going to get choked out. I kind of like it.
Do it harder, sir.
Harder, squeeze
Harder.
harder. Bruce, turn away, Bruce.
You can't see this match.
I don't want you to see my mess I'm going to make here.
Josh was saying Alfred's dad was their butler before Alfred became their butler.
Oh,
Okay.
Gotcha.
And,
I didn't know that. Okay.
and this is the only Alfred where I'm like, because again we barely had any time with this Alfred, but in every Batman film, Alfred has been nailed every single time.
Pretty much.
Perfectly played.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, before
I actually
we
didn't like Jeremy Irons Alfred. I'm gonna be honest.
You shut your mouth, dude.
I love
I have
love
to
Jeremy
agree
Irons
with-
as an actor, but
I have
it's
to
not-
agree with Vex. Yeah, he didn't really do it.
Good
for me.
actor.
I
but
love.
nothing.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a nothing role for him. I thought he was there just for the name.
I
Didn't
actually
bring
think he was.
anything.
Yeah, I think he was the weakest
The
Alfred
worst one.
out of all.
So
of
who
them.
was
Who's the best Alfred?
the
what's his name?
89 Alfred?
Really?
I think he knew. I
Michael
think he nailed
Caine.
it.
You didn't think
Michael
Michael Caine? What about Michael Caine?
Michael Caine second, close second, but I think 89.
The
The
89
first one got it
Alfred.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you, Copa. Yeah.
Mr. Yeah, that was a great.
90s
Andy was-
cartoon Alfred
Andy's
was
good
my
too.
favorite.
Andy's good too. Andy Circus.
Oh yeah, for the yeah.
And wait, hold on. Andy Serkis was an Alfred?
The
Yeah,
Batman.
for
your boy
Snyderverse.
Battinson.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pattinson.
Yeah.
That's a movie we're gonna review someday too. by the way.
Please, no. I'm literally just going to have an aneurysm if we review that.
I know,
movie.
but it'll be so good to
You're
see.
gonna have an aneurysm next week. What are you talking about?
We love your aneurysm.
Before we continue, Mr. Copa Catania, my boy,
Yes, sir.
has to leave the
I do.
stream because he's got other engagements. But go ahead and
He's ditching us, basically.
yeah, he
We're not
hates
cool
us.
enough
No,
for that
that's
anymore.
not true.
he hates
You're a
us.
child.
You
Okay,
need
I
to
am.
hear-
I'm
You're a
ditching.
child.
warm up before you go and premature
I
ejaculate
gotta
on the-
premature ejaculate here, then I gotta go premature ejaculate on premature ejaculation or ejection or whatever the hell that
he's
stupid
gonna
show is.
spray his
Whatever.
Copa seed everywhere. Go ahead and shout out whatever you need to, my man.
Okay, yeah. Come find me at Copa Catania here on the YouTubes. I review movies and I also I don't know like do bench presses and stuff like that while reviewing them. So you can
Breastfeeding
like
child.
Deadlifts.
yeah, and I do deadlifts as well. But the thing about my
And you
reviews
breastfeed.
is that your PR and your bench press will increase 400% per view that you make, and I guarantee you a maximum of 1,000-pound squat if you subscribe. Just instantly, you don't even have to work for it. You just got to
Just do
do those things. You just got to view it. You got to like it. You got to make a comment. I'm
Do
just
it.
trying to get you all jacked here the easy
Just
way, right?
subscribe to his goddamn channel. Please.
Subscribe to my
Yeah.
channel and you'll get jacked. I swear to
You'll
God.
get.
Are you talking like kangaroo jacked?
Yeah, like whatever kind of jacked you want. Jack cheese, I don't care.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Captain Jack.
By
Captain
the way,
Jack.
Copa's
Jack in the box.
information. Oh, Copa's information's in the description, and as the lovely Mrs. Cannolis, he wrote a book, and that's in the description as well, and the link to Amazon. I even put in there
True.
for him. So go fucking buy his book. It's fantastic.
Yeah, you will increase your knowledge by
While
150 IQ points.
When you get to
Read my
the baton barf scene in the train in the book, your IQ goes up, your deadlifts go up, your
Yeah.
muscles start coming out of your body. It's a fucking magnificent time.
Every book comes with a single hair from Copa.
Yes.
Yes.
Part of his
That's
That's why
funny.
he's bald.
That's why he's bald.
Explains
He
the
gives you
ball.
as part of his
Yeah.
DNA.
That explains a lot.
I've sold a
Um,
lot of books.
It comes
Yeah,
with a
he's
free
going into the
cloning kit.
pubes now.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start pulling them from other places. But don't worry about it, guys. I
Don't worry.
wash.
Are we getting you for an hour next week too, or we can't plan that far ahead? Obviously,
Like the kid is still like honestly.
Selfish. Babies are
Yeah, the
selfish,
kid
man.
is being really selfish right now. The last 3 days, she's been cluster feeding, and I think she's in a growth spurt right now. So she doesn't stay asleep for longer than an hour and a half.
understand. Yep,
But
it's about
most likely I'll be for the entire show next week.
That's fine.
Hopefully,
Don't worry about
When
it.
does teething start for infants?
I don't know. It
Oh.
could start anytime, from what I understand. Like they could be born with teeth. So
Surprised your baby wasn't.
I was
Just
gonna say,
bite.
because isn't the consensus usually that kids, especially during that phase, are like the absolute worst for?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
brutal.
I remember my nephew like just being a giant pain in the ass. But we checked last night, and there's no broken gums in there or anything. So
Okay.
we're just chalking it up to just growing pains.
Well, your
Yes.
tits are safe right now, bro. But watch out.
Yeah, don't watch out for. It is Pride Month, so are you milking your own child? Is what I want to know.
Well, I
Other
have
way
a
around.
nipple.
Other way around.
Oh,
Cody.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Jesus,
you're right.
dude.
Sorry.
Perverts. I'm out of here.
All right,
I'm
cool.
out of here.
I'm out of here.
See you later, buddy.
Later, guys. Have
Thanks,
a good
buddy.
one.
Later,
Yep.
Gator.
Later, Gator is right. Fucking Copa. We love him.
Fucking milking children, dude. Really?
Milking children.
I don't know.
What the hell's wrong with you?
It's June. I don't know what happens. The rules have changed, man.
God, go to Target or something.
The rules
Yeah.
have changed. Hold on, I'm gonna hold on.
Buy
a
me
second.
some Bud Light while you're there.
I'm moving some things around here. Hold on. Okay.
I went to for lunch with my in-laws, by the way, on Saturday, and that was like one of the first things my brother-in-law told the waitress is, "Get me anything other than Bud Light. I don't want to be gay."
Did you tell him too late?
No, like we were late, so like that was the first thing I heard come out of his mouth to our waiter. That's what he straight up said, and I was.
Why
just
are you
like,
Bud Light?
Dude, I
was
don't
impressed.
want the Bud. You got some.
Yeah,
good,
he
people.
teed that one up for you so
Mhm.
so
you
easily.
got some smart people in your family,
Yep.
Vex.
I
Hey.
guess so, yeah.
Cult
Yeah.
classic. What is up? Okay, back to the movie. So this is where he comes home and his mom basically has had like a was it a heart
Had a
attack?
stroke.
Yeah.
Got a
Stroke.
stroke.
Had a stroke.
Look at that scene. Look at that tunnel.
hmm
It's good. It's good stuff right there. I've actually
I
driven
hate-
through. I've driven
I
through
hate-
that tunnel before. by
Yeah,
the way.
I hate fucking tunnels like that. Those creep me out.
Well, that's in the New York, especially in those older cities. Tons of these things.
Oh, yeah.
It is scary, especially the one in Manhattan where you have to drive underneath into the fucking ocean. the oh god, what the fuck? Is it the Midtown Tunnel? Yeah, you're driving to New Jersey and back and forth, and it literally goes under the water, and you're doing that for miles and miles. It's fucking scary because all you're thinking about is if these walls cave in, you're basically you're gonna die. And they made a movie about that called Daylight with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you
Hypnotic.
for-
What's up,
just gonna
buddy?
Take some notes on that.
Thanks for Mr. Hypnotic, by the way, is like gonna have 80,000 subs by the end of the month. So
So Hypnotic, did you have a movie come out for Pride Month? Because I
He
saw it
did!
called Hypnotic.
yeah, and the movie bombed, but that's not because of him. It's because he had a shit.
Oh.
There was a shitty actor that took his name and played the role in the movie that nobody gave a shit
Gotcha.
about.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
He can finally afford his coyote.
So this is where the police
Yeah,
finally come up to him and start
Then
talking to him.
we get the detectives and they're asking questions, and he's like, "I'm here to look after my mom," and then
Mhm.
he tries to walk in through an exit door and gets
yeah,
Yeah.
and I like how the detective's like, "Yeah, your ex-boss gave me one of your cards. Like, is that part of your act, the laughing thing?" And he's like, "What do
and
you
I
think?"
believe one of these cops is detective Oleg, who is from the Batman, who is from the
Actual Batman
Uh,
comic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you sure?
I believe so.
Okay.
Are you calling Joker a liar? God damn it!
Is that Michael Douglas in your background right now, Whitey?
Yeah, from Falling Down. It's a similar movie.
Good movie.
Oh yeah, that's a good movie.
That's another movie. Well, have you ever seen that,
another-
Vex? You ever seen Falling Down?
One
I have
bad
not,
day.
no.
Oh yeah, you need to
It's
see
a
it.
pretty good movie. Pretty good movie.
Actually,
wa-
I feel like that's just Vex on a normal on a normal day.
Yeah.
I'm glad you can see yourself because of Ben Affleck. That guy is the worst fucking. I watched the movie Air just real quick this weekend.
I watched it
movie.
too.
Good movie.
I liked
Solid
it.
movie. I fucking hate Ben Affleck and everything he's in. That guy's a piece of shit. Terrible actor. I don't believe anything. I don't believe any role that guy's ever fucking played. I hate
You
him.
don't like Batfleck at all?
You know what? You ruined it for me. Whatever I did like about it, and when we talked about it over the weekend, I went
Ben
back. No.
Ben is the best. Ben is the best Bruce Wayne that we've gotten.
I mean, he does fit that iteration of Bruce Wayne with the chiseled jawline and the whole. Yeah,
and the jaded, cynical.
He ruins it by opening his mouth.
Love it. Do you mean Bennifer 1 or Bennifer 2?
Oh, there's
There
two
are
of them.
two.
Right?
Yeah, there are
That's
two
right.
Bennifers.
Yeah, there's a new one now,
Carter.
aren't they? Yeah.
Oh, they're back together, right?
And
Well,
Lopez.
Yeah, they got
Lopez.
married.
Yeah, he's back. I
Okay,
just
so
don't
now,
like the guy. Anyway,
so-
sorry.
so again here, Zazie's with him. This is not happening. This is all in his mind. This is
Yes.
all in his mind.
Which, yeah.
Again, he's chatting out, barely looks at her.
You know,
Right,
if they had decided to race swap Harley Quinn, I would want it to be Zazie
Her?
Beetz. I'd be okay with that.
Because she's very attractive.
It's very
She-
well. The domino outfit as well could you could tweak it a
mhm.
little bit to have some Harley Quinn
Harley Quinn
aspects to it, right? Like
Yeah.
in the Injustice game, like that Harley Quinn's outfit in there.
Mhm.
Good call.
But
Well, that
like it.
that would kind of look like the Harley outfit from the James Gunn film.
the Harley outfit from the James Gunn film,
Yes.
T-shirt one?
Suicide
Yeah.
Squad.
The Suicide Squad.
the Suicide. She wore a dress in there.
Hot
She
take.
also in the very opening scene, she had a tactical.
outfit
Oh
on?
yeah, she did. God, that movie was fucking terrible. My God,
I did not like that movie either.
it was better than the first one, but still pretty
Yes.
bad.
But it had too much James
Vex
Gunn.
is having a melanin moment. I just really want to lick this girl's
Wow.
snatch. That's really all it is.
Jesus, there's children listening. For Christ's
Sorry.
sake.
Sorry.
No, Vex,
Sleep deprived Vex is tuning in
okay.
right now.
I totally accept it. I totally accept
It is Pride Month, so
Yeah,
is.
there we go. I'm
embracing
fuck.
the month. What are you breaking?
embracing
What the hell are
Pride.
you doing? Poor Vex.
Yeah,
She
There
wants
you go.
some of this.
changing her batteries.
Yeah, what up, Tyler?
I see. I say lick
Tyler.
snatch, and
Filipino
Tyler
meatball.
shows up. There's his
Right.
son word.
And Filipino meatball. What a shock!
wow.
Wow. As soon as yeah,
Both
so
for different reasons.
for another second here, he's happy again because De Niro's character is actually talking about him. Right? He's-
Well, yeah, and now this part is this part right here is actually happening. The real
Yes.
yeah. So he quickly goes in and out of his delusional mind, and then here's reality. And right there, go back
Yeah.
a clip. Right
He's
there,
done. He's
another domino falls.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. And I like this shot here. He's got the gun here, cigarettes, his journal, and then the paper at the bottom.
The
So
clowns.
it's just really good imagery here. Some foreshadowing, as you would say. Yeah, it's good. It's just good directing. It's really weird that the guy who made The Hangover did. I understand the whole point of like comedy translating into drama, but still a good job. Still a good job.
Mhm.
Is that supposed to be the Virgin Mary in the background?
Maybe.
It's Jesus. It's Jeebus.
It wouldn't be surprising given it's New York in the 80s, right? So
Very true.
And
This
now
guy
he
looks-
sees this. He sees all
Yeah,
these.
the people on the
Clowns.
TV F the rich, and
Mhm.
again, very similar to certain circumstances in the country now.
I'm just saying.
You know, and then they were saying here like Thomas Wayne didn't really apologize. He's like,
Right.
these people are sick. I'll save you.
Yeah.
Let me bring you out of poverty.
That
Government.
guy in that previous frame looked like he was at a Frozen 2 screening.
it's
Somebody, sorry, Vex, go ahead.
it's no, it's you go ahead.
No, you're gonna say something. Go ahead.
Oh, I was
What's
just gonna,
that?
it's interesting that they go after this movie for it's about a lone white dude and he's an incel, but then they don't mention how like everyone he kills is a white dude. So doesn't that mean that Arthur Fleck is on your side then?
Right. Right.
Okay,
If you're a
so-
raging liberal,
He's a
And-
self-hating liberal.
and-
right?
And another little side note. No.
Mhm, mhm.
The guy who plays Thomas Wayne was the congressman in The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh,
Is it really?
At the
Yep.
end. Yeah, when Commissioner Gordon gives his speech, he's talking.
So
to
it's
him.
all connected then.
Did you notice if you go back to that crowd scene, they had like some kind of effigy or something?
Mhm.
Who did that look like?
Let me see. Was this?
Yep. What
Yeah.
color hair is that?
Oh,
Oh, who's this supposed to be?
Wait, who is that supposed to be?
I'm a
That's
beautiful
what I was
man.
saying. Like, go back to that.
Trump. It looks like Mr.
Yeah.
Mr.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, now I see it. Yeah.
That's it.
I'm wonderful. I'm beautiful.
It's just legally distinct enough
You know what?
that you can't really claim that.
I
But
never picked up on that. Good call.
I
Shield.
didn't either. Yeah.
That's a great call, Shield.
Yeah, and he's the whole. Oh,
Well,
Sorry.
I like sleep deprived Vex because she gets angry. You know?
no, it's just like
I need it.
it's very disappointing because this is a genuinely good film, but I just hate how they have to put
Joker
in
element.
these subtle undertones of like current day politics in there. Like
Of course.
it's just irritating. That's all. That's really.
Then don't go watch Across the
Spider-Verse. See, I've heard every person that loved that movie. The few that I hated didn't love it is because of lots.
Hold on, is actually the biggest Spider-Verse fan in the universe here, or is he?
He was earlier. I don't know if he took off, but he's seen it like 4 times.
Do you think that the director put Charlie Chaplin in here or somebody else?
So
as a
trivia lady, please.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, this was just one of the inspirations for the character. That's all. And apparently, in some of the comic books as well, the Joker has like a fondness for Charlie Chaplin as well. So that was very intentional.
Okay, because I thought it was just a director paying homage to like somebody that maybe got him in the comedy or something.
No,
like watching those old, because those, if you go back and look at his old stuff, it's really fun.
Really, yeah,
it is.
I like how Thomas, when he's going on, he wants to talk to what he thinks is his dad.
Yeah, and this is not the best place to strike up a conversation while a guy's taking a piss.
And Thomas is like, I need something, buddy. You want an autograph?
Do you want to shake it?
You want to shake it for me, my big mask?
And then he mentions his mother's name, and there's like, okay, look, no.
It sets off, yeah.
We are not having this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he basically tells him, like, your mom's fucking nuts. Like, this has been going on for years, and he snaps here. Like, he's just like, why can't everybody be civil to each other? Why would you say that about my mother? And then he starts laughing, of course.
And then,
dude, like, I literally just got done handling my dick, and you accosted me. Like,
Dad,
will be nicer.
Yeah, I like that part. He's like, I didn't want anything from you, Dad.
How about a hug? How about some kindness, Dad?
The other thing is in a bathroom in a high-end establishment like that. Where's the bathroom attendant?
Yeah. There's nobody.
Especially back then, they had those things.
Now, I believe this is the scene where he pulls everything out of the fridge and just
goes into the fridge.
himself in it. Oh.
Yeah, I was wondering what he was doing when I'm watching
Indiana Jones.
I thought he was going to make like a.
They're gonna blow it up and put it in the desert. Yeah. This part was fucked, man. He'd rather sleep in the darkness in a fucking cold fridge.
Oh, also, if you notice, it's one of those old school ones. So I was thinking, when I was a kid, I was taught never get in a refrigerator because it could lock, and and that my mom told me because that's what she was told when she was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because so it goes back generations of not getting into a.
Just don't get into a fridge. Yeah.
Right, but those kind had the actual clicker thing on the door, so he could have got stuck in there and then just roll credits.
Now,
right behind the handle on the door is a small little opening. You can take a screwdriver and put it through there and
put
get
it right
out.
through. Okay.
But I didn't see him having a screwdriver, so he must use a banana.
I remember when this movie came out, there was a fan theory about this, that in fact he does just end up kind of like dying in the fridge eventually. Like he gets into the fridge and then everything that happens for the rest of the movie is all just in his imagination because he was locked in the fridge.
Maybe.
Interesting. Because things do get weird. I mean, they're already weird, but they get even a little more crazy after that.
That just shows how weird I am, picking up on little details like that.
No, that's great.
Well, I noticed something because I believe next to the phone there's a answering the machine, and I'm like, I don't remember answering machines in 1981.
They
The
had
first,
them.
the first answering machine was released, I think, in like 74 or 75.
They were around.
I was
Yeah.
3. No, they were.
Yeah,
Come on,
they
Joker.
had them. They had them. He also has a VCR, which is pretty
Oh,
unique
yeah.
technology. It's not new, but
But
the
it's-
one that he's
Well,
got.
yeah, for him to
is-
have it in at his house, and
Right.
you know, with how low money they are, but
Right.
he got a VCR or a Betamax. Like, come on.
Yeah, that was like a $1,200 purchase back
It was
then.
expensive. So
And
this is
that's
where he
in
gets.
back then money.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
I got
saying.
that
Yeah,
back then money.
this is where he gets the phone call over supposedly from the Murray Franklin show. That's De Niro's character. His show saying they want him on. And he's just like, huh? What?
Oh, prior to this though, right? The cop's been calling him, so he's been
Yeah.
screening his calls
Right.
Yeah.
with the answering machine, ducking him.
Mhm.
He's got money for fake mustaches, but
Yeah. See, man, this is
Where's my
breaking
money, man?
apart. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a nice
So then he makes a trip to Arkham.
Now,
I'm so glad you got that reference.
yeah, it's Arkham State Hospital. In the comic, it's not, right? Isn't it?
It's
Is there a
Ar-
different-
it's
It is
Arkham.
Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum is just a wing of the hospital.
Okay,
Keep that in
okay,
mind.
okay,
Like, yeah.
Call. This part was fucked, man. He's the guy in the elevator with him,
Oh,
like, strapped down, laughing.
Oh,
Yeah, and did you see his feet?
Yeah.
So if you've ever been to LA, I had to go there first in 2004 for some stuff, and the hotel I stayed in, around the outside was a lot of homeless people that were just shuffling around, and their feet were just filthy because they don't wear
Black.
shoes, and they just
Yeah.
and they just walk and walk and walk, and exactly like that guy.
In this
They're not even on drugs; they're just out of their mind.
in this town, in my town, we could call that the we could call that the white girl after the club.
Dude, in your town, when we left the fucking meetup, we made the wrong turn and went to North Vegas.
Is that up by the base up there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just say, I never turned around so fucking fast in a car. Bad. I mean, it's bad back there.
Because I went to Vegas a couple times for Red Flag, and
Ooh.
Yeah.
you'd go outside the base, and they were like, "Hey, you can go out there." This is back a while ago. They were like, "Hey, you can go out here during the day, but don't go to these places at night, or you're
Don't
gonna
go
get
during the day.
shot or something."
Don't go any
Yeah,
time
it's
of day.
probably super
It was
bad
real
now.
tense and home. I never seen that many homeless people in one
In those
area.
places,
It was-
never go in your uniform. They
Yeah.
target you.
It was scary. It was people were tweaking, fucking drugged out. I mean, I'm not talking about one people. I'm talking about there was 50.
It wasn't
people
like
lined
that
up.
when it back in the day. Like I'm talking
No.
like 97, 98.
No, it's much worse now. Yeah,
Yeah.
much worse. It was scary. Anyway, back to this movie. Yeah, so this is where he goes to the mental hospital to get information about his mom, right? He wants
Right.
records.
And now he's feeling a little more
face.
free. He's feeling a little more free, and he's like, you know what? I think I can tell you this. I've done some bad stuff, and I think he wants to say, yeah, those Subway guys, that was me.
Yeah, he's like, I did some messed up shit, and he's like, I really don't feel bad about it. It's crazy.
And then his the orderly there. He was in Godzilla versus Kong.
Kong. Yeah.
Godzilla?
He was in a show too. I forgot what show it was.
Yeah.
God damn it, popular show. I don't know. I never.
Doesn't he
watched it,
kind of
but-
look like Sheepsidian with a little bit of weight on?
A little bit, yeah. I see it.
Wow, I like
Rounder
it.
face. Yep.
Good comparison. So he's reading the information in the file, and
And then he stops.
He's like, yeah, I need somebody who can come sign for these and take them and give them to you, because he's like, yeah, there's some horrible shit in here.
Mhm.
And then of course, Arthur Fleck steals the file, runs into a stairwell, and reads it. And this part was fucked, man. I mean, yeah, he's reading the file and he's laughing. Sorry, go ahead, Vince. Go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. If you like, as he's going through this, you won't be able to freeze frame it here. But one of the zoom in shots, it actually shows that Penny got a lobotomy at one point in her life.
Mhm.
Yes, that was
Oh,
in the file.
And the
And
file.
In the
Right.
file.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is just another structural pillar knocked down.
Oh, who is that actress? She's been in something else.
She was in Mindhunter. She was the girlfriend.
That's what it was. Yes. Good call,
Wait,
Vince.
the psychologist that was a lesbian?
Not the psychologist. She
Like,
was
God
she was the main character's girlfriend in season 1, the student, the
student. Yeah,
psychology student.
very early on. Yep.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm getting
Yeah.
them confused because
She was a brunette in that film, in that show, compared to the red
Oh,
hair.
that's where the clerk was in. He was in Bullet Train.
Okay.
The Sheep City and
oh,
right.
He was Lemon. He was
He was
Lemon.
good.
Wait, that was Lemon.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's Lemon. Yeah,
Oh,
there we
okay.
go.
He was
Yeah.
great in that movie.
So
Yeah.
Sheep
Tyler.
City was in a couple of movies then.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, but then this whole part, man, was brutal. And here it's like,
And this is like ugly crying. I mean, there's snot coming out of his nose. He's
yeah. I mean,
mean,
they're
yeah,
talking
because-
about he was tied to a radiator.
Yeah,
and
he was
the
tied to a
nurse.
radiator. He was
beaten.
beaten to the point of having a traumatic head injury, right? And then he was
Mhm.
also abused. It's alluded that he was sexually abused as well.
Right. And so this is everything that Thomas Wayne told him is true. So his
Right.
whole
Mhm.
world, everything his mom told him is a lie. She's nuts. She's
Mhm.
crazy. I'm a product of. Actually, he's not a product of her. He's adopted.
Yeah, she
Mhm.
adopted him, a part of
Yeah.
this
So-
fantasy that she had, and
And
she
then-
couldn't even
Mhm.
admit it to herself. And
And then while she's being interviewed, this guy's like, "You stood by talking to the mom
And watch
while
this
he got
happen.
abused. We found him chained to the radiator," which is a kind of like a trope because
Mhm.
it's in like real life. Whenever you heard about a kid being abused, they were always like chained to a radiator or
Mhm.
under the stairs, like Harry Potter or something.
Mhm.
And yeah, he was
Brutal
beaten.
stuff. Mhm.
Yep, had a traumatic brain injury, which is why he has this laughing problem
Issue.
now. Right.
Mhm.
which this
Yeah.
is also kind of alluded to earlier in the film when he shows that card to the mom on the bus. It says that sometimes it is due to
hmm
traumatic
Stress.
head injuries.
Stress, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I picked up.
Poor Arthur.
And now I think he's starting to go. I think this is where he's starting to realize that everything he's been not yet. Oh, not yet. Ooh.
Not yet, no. Yeah, this part's creepy. So he goes into Zazie Beetz's house, and it's really
Right.
creepy because he's like, feeling around, and he's like,
This
it's-
part was completely unbelievable for me.
yeah, like she's
And
just
I'll tell
walking
you
in.
why. Her door wasn't locked. Come on.
Right in New York at this time, right?
Yeah.
And then he says the crucial Joker line. I had a bad day, and I'm like that. I'm like, okay, now it's starting to fall. Everything is starting to fall now.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, and then she
Well, what if they
started.
started playing so you had a bad day?
And this
They
is when you
missed.
tell by her reaction when she walks out that all
startled.
that other stuff wasn't real.
Yeah,
Right.
It
Right.
goes, it walks you through it and kind of holds your hand with it a little bit.
a little
with the-
bit.
The way it
Takes
goes
her out
through
of the scenes that they were in together.
Right,
Yeah.
Right. Just
Yeah.
so the audience will know.
But yeah, she's like, oh, you're Arthur, right? You live down the hall, and it's like, oh shit. And
Right.
yeah, this is where they kind of go through where they show her. Yeah.
Now, as he leaves, who here thinks he just left them there, or like me, I think he kills them both.
I didn't think he killed them both. No.
I think he
I-
left him.
I think he killed.
It never.
Why?
But
They know it's
see,
fine.
in every
Why?
scene where he does that, right? There's always some indication of it.
Because because you're a single mom, you just had a guy in your place who lives a few doors down, and as she was trying to talk to him, you could hear sirens in the background.
Yeah,
How far
but
headed there?
I don't know if the cops were headed there necessarily because they don't come back until later, as well as the other thing to talk to Arthur. But it could also, like, you hear sirens and you see police
New York.
cars and all this
It's
stuff
Hmm.
pretty,
Gotham.
yeah, like pretty regularly throughout the film. And then the other thing too is that despite all of this not being real, it's like he does like her quite a bit, enough to have
Well-
built this fantasy relationship around her.
Well,
So
he also loves his mom too.
yeah, but his mom lied to him. Here's the difference. His
Well-
mom lied to him about his whole being and origin.
Well, in his mind, she could have lied to him.
But it's not as obvious. You know what I mean? Like it's very obvious that Penny lied. Yeah, Penny lied to him. But for in this scene, it's just more like she's just trying to, like she says, like my daughter's sleeping in the other room, and she doesn't threaten him. She doesn't try to call the
Just
cops
wants
or
him to
anything.
leave.
Yeah,
at
and
the
she even
end-
acknowledges, like, "Hey, you're Arthur from down the hall, aren't
She
you?"
recognizes him.
She
Yeah.
doesn't
I'm not
belittle
trying to
him.
like skip
She's
to the
not
end,
like-
but at
right.
the end,
Right.
you see bloody footprints leading from
Yeah,
his last.
I think the
counselor
Gourd.
and all that.
I think the Gourd King is right. It's deliberate to kind of keep you guessing a little bit.
I
'Cause even-
personally don't think he didn't, because every other kill we see him make throughout this movie, there's a
it's
very obvious,
intentional. Right.
obvious indicator that
Okay.
he's about to kill.
And later on, he does spare people if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
He
the
doesn't kill
kind-hearted ones,
everybody.
like the cute midget. There you go.
Right. Okay.
Vex's favorite person.
But I could see where you get that impression because
Yeah.
you never see her again, or the kid
Yes.
in the movie.
Right.
And even the way he leaves the apartment, it's very menacing and ominous, right?
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
So-
Dude, this
Like
part was,
slowly, kind of creepy,
This-
walking out.
oh, this
Now
part was
this
nuts.
this is where the final domino falls.
And then where the line he says, what does he say? Like I thought my whole life was a tragedy, but it's a comedy.
Yeah.
Right.
It's been a
It's a fucking comedy.
it's fucking crazy because, like, yeah, I mean, obviously, I know she was terrible, right? She
But-
was the reason why.
But still, that's his mom. I mean, that
It's brutal,
to-
man. Just
just to
seeing her
make-
trying to like grab him and push the. I was like, oh my god. That's
Yeah,
To make-
Joker's right. This is
and
the
to make that step to make that step.
to go that
you-
far. Yeah.
This is where it's finally. This
Yeah,
is
he
where
broke.
nothing matters. It is. There's. Yeah, and this is where he goes into complete. This is in his psychosis here.
Yeah.
But he's
And he-
very happy, air quotes, at that moment. Afterwards, and all that. It's like he's finally relieved of something.
Free of it. Yeah.
And-
sure.
Mhm.
This here, kind of a dance. He's pantomiming it. He's acting it out.
Mhm.
In this
Yeah.
part, I guess Copa would say, so since he's not here, I'll kind of fill in for him a little bit. This mirrors the taxi driver where he's practicing in the mirror, talking about you looking at me, or you looking at me, where he's talking about, hey, how's it going?
It's true
Marty?
though.
How's it going, Marty? Yeah, it is. It
Yeah,
mirrors
it's
it all.
true.
Also, to go back just a little bit, the thing that took me out of that scene with him killing his mother just a tad was there's no way she would have a room to herself. There'd be 20 other people packed in there with her. But, I'll
Plot
let it go.
convenience. There you
Suspend
go.
disbelief. Yeah. Yeah, I like how he's trying to mimic how he's
Right.
trying to practice. He's working out what he's gonna say. I love this is how
Pretty cool.
fucking crazy. Yeah, he pulls out like the gun at one scene. He's like, that's gonna be his surprise ending of the interview. It's like Jesus
Because-
Christ, man.
because no matter what, everyone will be talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this
And
is where we
right,
get
so we kind of skipped over it a little bit, but
Go
because the way the video works here, but he put the gun under his chin.
his
and-
chin, he pulled
and
it. Yeah.
So his plan is to go on the Murray show, do some stuff. He's like, "Hey, I got a joke. Knock, knock," and then he's gonna shoot himself.
Bang. Right.
Yeah,
end himself.
yeah. He's gonna do the
And now he's dancing here.
This is something for the ladies with him and his green hair and his underwear.
yeah, with the
Right.
green saturating his underwear. Yeah,
That was
But it
me.
also-
Actually, that was me a
Oh, whoops.
couple of hours ago, just to make.
yeah, that's what I was saying here. So, what Joker is alluding to is the curtains match the drapes now.
Ooh.
No.
Vex is
Oh,
like,
you got to let it
Thanks,
drip
go to
down.
your safe place. Think of the midget. Think of the
Think of
midget.
the midget.
Think of
Vex,
the
think of the
midget,
midget.
yeah.
stuffed midget. You can hug him. You can love him.
Yep.
Cuddle him.
Yeah,
Says
you
he
can
He's
dive in
adorable.
green.
He's like a little stuffed animal.
Little Ewok.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can just dip them in green dye.
I like how he's so this is he's putting his makeup on, getting ready for his big show, and then some
And
people
then he
stop
meets-
by.
Oh yeah.
His former colleagues come by.
Yeah.
Because they've all
And
heard
this-
about.
Ah, Vex.
And this, and
No, it's
this,
when he's in fear that he's the most adorable.
You're
And
just
this-
a little guy.
and this is just getting creepier and creepier,
dude.
and he's just like, you know what? Doesn't matter. When my mom's dead, celebrating. I haven't taken my meds in four days. I feel great.
This guy picked the wrong day to go visit him. Let's put it that way. And he's trying to fish for information. right?
He picks the wrong day to make a midget joke.
Midget joke too, yeah. Because the cops are asking around about
Right. About the clown.
and then so this fucking guy.
And he's
He's like,
afraid.
"Ah."
He's afraid that the Joker's going to be like, "Oh yeah, he gave me the gun," and then he's going
Right.
to go down for it.
Right.
So he's still acting like he's his buddy, but he's
Oh,
not.
scissors.
Yep.
Scissors. Yeah, scissors. got him ready, and then he just fucking stabs him right in the eye.
Not
Obviously.
the good kind of scissoring.
And he uses his fucking head as a pinball against that.
Now there was one image where Arthur has his hands against the walls, and then he just looks up, and I'm like, oh, okay, there we go.
Yep.
And he is you right there, euphoria. He just came.
Yeah,
right there. He's like,
he's in a very happy.
Oh, I look like the Crow. Oh my god!
I was just going to say
up,
that.
Whitey.
I was just going to say that, Whitey. I bet this frame right here. There's some women in the audience that got a little tinkle.
Yeah, look, it's Brandon Lee after that one bad scene.
Yep.
Wow.
Maybe not that.
Okay.
Wow.
And then he was never heard from again.
That's a clip right there.
That's
that's definitely being clipped.
Speaking of which, do you think an older Brandon Lee could have played this role?
No.
Yeah, I think
Maybe.
Brandon Lee could have done this.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at his makeup in The Crow, it's
I don't
not
know.
that far off.
His acting range at first was not that much because of his roles, but I mean,
he would have been too old. You're right, Joker. He would have been too old for this.
If they had made this movie before he died, or if he had
he didn't have the acting range back then for it. It would have had to been somewhere in the middle, I think.
Yeah, he was more like grungy Joker. That Nirvana.
But I
Nirvana
think there might have been a point where he could have did it.
Yeah, probably.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I wouldn't discount it
Maybe.
at all. Oh, poor Veg. Little guy's
Look
scared.
at him. He's God. It's just like
What
it's
the
like,
fuck, Arthur?
It's like when you see a fucking
Arthur.
chipmunk get stuck in a potted plant or something.
When you see a chipmunk,
Yeah, or your
okay.
or your step sibling stuck in a top-loading washing machine.
I love this. Whoa!
And this was the funniest scene of the entire movie.
It made me laugh.
He couldn't reach the.
Arthur,
Yeah.
could you unlock the door, please?
Could you?
He's like,
Arthur,
could you? And he's like, oh fuck, I'm sorry, dude. You know.
I like how he gives him this look like, and then you're like for a second, like, is he gonna really like? Because he shuts the door again, and he gives this look like, I might not let you out, but he's fucking with him.
And this
Sorry.
is the other reason why I don't think he killed Zazie Beetz earlier. Is like he clearly can acknowledge when people have been nice to him,
Genuinely
like even if
nice,
it's in a small way.
There was. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I'm done.
I was going to say there was tension where I thought, man, because when he went for the chain, I was like, damn it, he's going to snap his neck or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But he didn't, and he's like, I'm not going to hurt you because you were the only
good
one
to
who's
me.
ever nice to me.
I'd cut off your head, Master Dwarf, if it weren't so already close.
Oh,
to the
thank you,
ground.
Arthur. I'm just a little wee guy.
And this song was great for this, and
They got shit for playing the song in the movie.
Did they really? Why?
Because the guy who created it likes to eat pizza. Let's put it that way.
And
Hold
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
It's actually been
the
proven.
song that
like,
they played at every high school.
yeah, it's actually
Right.
look it up. The guy who created this song was known for that.
Well, the artist's
Hold
name
on.
should have get.
So you're telling me that everyone was more upset about the fact that this might be, pro white man film, but
And this
nobody was complaining about how there was a
Pizza eater.
Peter Files song in here?
Good one, Vex. Yeah, no, and
Well,
people caught on to it. Yeah.
They're trying to get that, added to the list. So
Yes,
Right.
yes, but yeah,
So-
that was a big point of contention in this.
So
yeah.
real quick,
Now-
Joker. So you're saying if he took this red nose off and
Yes.
just covered it in white, you'd like him much better.
a lot more. And this
Peter File.
and like I said at the start of the film, where he's going up the stairs,
Mm.
it's him. It's trudging. It's
Right.
laborious.
Mhm.
Here,
trying to hit-
here he is free, and
Downhill.
every scene previous, he's going upwards trying to get to heaven. Here he's descending. He's going downward into the depths of his madness, and this is where he's free.
Yeah.
And he is even the way he moves. Everything is just.
I can't wait to see Lady Gaga repeat this in the Joker
Listen, low key, I know everyone thinks it's gonna be shit. I think that film's low key gonna be a banger.
Well,
I
everybody
think
thought
it
that
could
this
be
movie
really
was going to
good.
be garbage.
Right.
True, but the difference is that now we've seen this. The expectations
Right,
actually there
right.
aren't. It's mixed.
Well, the bar got good. Well, the bar did get raised.
I have no fucking clue what to expect. So
Okay,
I'll give it a chance.
Yeah,
I'm just
the
saying, I have
bar
no-
is already high, yes. But here's the thing: is I think in this second movie, Todd Phillips is probably going to lean into his comedic edge a little bit more because it is a musical.
Right.
So we're going to see. It's not going to be dark and gritty like this. I think we're going to see something completely different.
And I think that the musicals are going to be in their heads.
100% they will.
What? Well,
Sorry.
no. I don't.
Vex been hanging around me too much. They were starting to talk.
No,
talk
Vex
the same
needs
now.
sleep apparently. No, I have no idea how I'm gonna. I'm not a big musical fan. Like I don't like musicals a lot.
I don't
so-
either, but I genuinely
We'll
think
see.
this will be a
I got to
banger.
see a trailer first. They got to
The Wizard
grab
of
me. We'll see.
You didn't like the Wizard of Oz?
No, I think The Wizard of Oz is a good movie. I think it's a little overrated though. Hot
I
take.
think everything behind the
you are
Wizard of
going down.
Oz is really interesting. All the behind the
No,
scenes.
yeah, I mean, I get what the movie did for cinema. I get it. It was revolutionary for its time.
Yeah,
I
the
just-
color.
Yeah, it was great. That
was
stuff.
done,
Color
flying
cannoli.
monkeys.
The color.
The
How many-
cola.
How
Fucking
many
midgets.
childhoods were ruined by those flying monkeys?
Mhm.
The people hanging themselves in the background. It was great. It was a great. Time.
So, quick question. Okay,
Yes,
this is something I've wondered. Probably Copa is the one that
I could pretend to be
would-
Gobi. Yo.
Okay. Well, no, he has the industry insider info, right? So
Sure.
I know for a lot of roles now, because there's also like some legal circumstances around it. Whenever there's a character smoking in a movie, it's a fake cigarette that they're smoking.
Mhm.
But Joaquin Phoenix is a smoker in
Oh,
real
yeah.
life.
So was he
So-
really
Yeah.
smoking on set?
Yeah, is he really? Because he was smoking
Probably.
a lot throughout this movie.
Yeah,
I would say
Yeah.
it was worked in that he can. Yes.
So like I'm wondering, like in cases where the actor is already a smoker, do they just let them smoke real cigarettes on set, or
Depending,
I'm
I
guessing so.
probably bet it's where it's at. Like if it's shooting on location in
Certain
like
areas.
some
like
city
if
or
it's a
something.
closed set, that makes sense. Like you wouldn't have a cigarette there, but something
Right.
like this where he's out in the open in a very public space.
Yeah, as long as it was legal to do so, I bet
I would
they
say
would.
yes.
Yeah,
He's a
But-
midnight toker. Sorry,
yeah.
the Gord King was.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And you're gonna get copyright struck now.
Yeah, so he's getting chased by the police. The police chasing the white man around. And he gets hit by a car. No big deal. He gets right back up. No big deal. That happens all the time. This part was fucked too, man, where there is a rally going on, right?
Well, the
Downtown.
cops see him on the stairs, right?
Right,
start
and they're
rushing
chasing him,
and then
yeah.
he just runs. So they
Yeah.
they chase after him.
And then
Yeah.
there's a big rally that's happening. So of course everybody's dressed like a clown,
Mhm.
wearing masks, and this is where a lot of people were pro this scene because it was anti-cop.
Well,
You
yeah,
know,
the anti-cop rhetoric was pretty strong around this time too, right? So
100%,
I
yeah.
get it. This is the same problem I have that people keep bringing up about the Spider-Man games. It's like, oh, Spider-Man's helping the police. Oh,
Mhm,
oh.
Well, especially the Miles Morales game. That was a
Yeah,
big
it's
thing.
just, bruh, just let it be. It's like the cops are not inherently bad, just like how doctors are not inherently good. Like there's good and bad in all of them. It's just,
No, you're right. It's a stupid argument. I hate it.
Yeah,
it's
but
a
it's just the
really
narrative.
stupid argument.
Dumb. It's just
And-
pointless.
and I just wanted to again bring back this theme of the dancing when Joker's seen that cop get beat.
He starts
beat up.
dancing. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He's laughing and dancing.
But the thing about the real quick, the thing about
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
cops is that nothing they did was like dirty cop activity.
Yeah,
That's what I
at
mean.
all.
They
They're
weren't
just
bad
doing-
cops.
They're just cops.
They're
Yeah.
just doing their job.
They're part of the
Three
system.
people got shot. They're trying to figure out what's going on.
Right.
They're trying to question people. It's not like they're planting evidence on them or
No.
you know
They
taking
aren't
them for a
beating
rough
anyone
ride or
too, and
something.
all these
Yep.
people just turn on them and start beating them for no reason. Like
Yeah.
And
it's
that's that
really fucked
stupid
up.
mob mentality.
The
that,
mob
you know,
mentality.
Yeah.
we
And that's
see
ano-
so much today,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
than ever because everything's getting captured.
100%
So-
wedding.
So the guy next to Robert, he was the star of the Netflix series Glow.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
The one
he's
where Alison Brie shows her tits?
Yep.
Mark Maron. That's him. He's a comedian.
Wait, are we gonna review that one?
I haven't
can.
seen that. That's all I know about it is that Alison Brie shows her tits. That's all.
Is
I
that-
know.
Oh, Alice
They're nice.
Brie. Okay,
They're nice.
I was
We
gonna
just-
say Brie Larson. What?
Those would
Yeah.
also probably look nice.
So Allison Brie,
Oh,
There was
we
some
have
boobs in there.
stand-in boots.
we just have review that one scene for 2 hours. We could just
I
talk
had to
about
look at that disgusting scene 9 times.
Awful. It was awful. Yeah, so this is where they're kind of going over what the show's about,
Right.
how they're going to introduce him, of course. And this guy, Maron, the guy to the playing next to De
We
Niro,
have
is
to
just like,
save Martha.
yeah,
Why did you say that name?
how are we going to get through that fucking show next week? Jesus Christ.
It was even worse watching it again. Oh my god.
Here- what I'm
How-
gonna-
Why did you say that name?
What I'm going to do is every time people start arguing, I'm going to play that clip. Go, Martha, just to cut people off.
I just
to
don't.
calm them
How
down.
can you think that's a good movie objectively?
It's smart,
My
Vex.
God.
You don't
You
understand.
don't understand, Vex.
It's intelligent.
You don't
Oh.
understand Snyder's genius.
The best scene in the entire movie was Henry Cavill taking on his shirt and getting in the bathtub.
In the beginning.
They should have just cut the credits after that.
Well,
Everyone will give it a 10
Wonder
out of
Woman-
10.
Yep.
We'll get to
Wonder Woman. Well, the Wonder Woman reveal was good.
Vex
I
had to
don't
watch
give-
that scene 9 times.
Over and over.
The problem,
And
real quick,
Oh.
the problem with that movie, and we'll talk about this next week and move on. But Vex is right. She said this week, and there should have been a movie in between to set up.
There should have been honestly 4 movies in between.
'Cause
But one
the
movie
way
would have
they-
been good enough.
Yeah, the way they interact with each other is stupid. They don't talk to each other. It's just, he's an alien. I'm gonna get kryptonite and stab him through the dick with it. And they don't like it. There's
But,
no.
but you guys, Snyder was so smart.
Yeah, he's
You
smart.
you just don't understand the allegory to socialism and rural economics. In all
Snyder
of this.
could guzzle my cum, okay? That's all he
Holy
did.
shit, Vex! God.
I know. Wow, Vex. whipping
She
out
wants
the
to
lady-
taste Zazie
the
Beetz.
lady
She wants
bee.
to come on, fucking
Yeah.
Zack Snyder. Jesus,
This is what happens when she comes to America.
she's
Yep.
fucking perfect.
She shoots one gun, inhales the
Uh-huh.
fuse.
She's in the state, the
And now
freest
she's-
state in the country.
Yep,
That's
exactly.
what happens. Okay, what's
Vex,
gonna happen?
Vex, save all these takes for next week, please, because I want to see his face. I want
It's
to see
gonna
his
be
face.
brutal.
Just
Well, we got two defenders on the show. Ego
What?
and B.A. Turner, like
Yeah.
BVS.
Oh,
So it's
God.
them two versus like 8 people who hate them.
Actually, I meant to ask Vex that. After you got done shooting the gun, did you inhale the fumes? Like
Like Molly Shannon
from the
No comment.
Gunpowder.
yeah, gunpowder and freedom.
Sniffing the bullet out. Ah.
I've
Yeah,
been
so
there a
this
few
is
times.
this is where he tells him, "I want you to call me Joker."
Right.
You know,
Because that's what you called me on the show before, a Joker. And he's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
yeah. Well, what does that
I
else
see
say?
what they did there.
I like what he puts on the mirror here. He writes in, put on a happy face in the mirror,
Right.
just kind of give him a.
If anybody missed it, how he's on the show is
Please,
they
yeah.
showed a tape of him doing his stand-up,
Oh yeah,
and
Bron.
they laughed at everybody. Everybody was laughing at
De
him
Niro laughed at him, made fun of him. That's
originally
why.
on the show,
Yeah.
and saying, "Look at this clown! Look at this Joker! What a loser!"
Mhm.
But the people were like, "Hey, he's actually funny," and they're like, "Okay, we'll get him back on the show, and then we'll drag him. We'll let him cook while he's on stage," and so that's why he gets invited back. on the show.
I disliked 300, by the way, Gord King.
I know, you know, we talked about that. We talked
But to be
it's
fair,
a-
when he gets on the shows, he's not really that super cruel to him. You know,
No, he's not.
No,
He
he's
tries
not.
to be intrigued. Yeah, he tries
Right.
to at least. But
And
then he's doing the job of a talk show host there. right?
Yeah.
look at his face here, dude.
Oh yeah.
Just he's so
And-
fucking ready to kill everybody.
See, this,
Right.
yeah, this is like
Okay.
he's high tea and pimped out right here.
I like
So-
the color
So then-
composition as well of that.
Yes.
So then,
And
Good
now
call,
he's-
Vex.
so then
Fuck you, Wade.
go
Don't
to the
talk.
folks. Go to the folks on the couch. So you
Yeah.
got Ed McMahon, and if you know anything about the Johnny Carson show, he had a recurring guest, Dr.
Ruth?
Dr. Ruth.
Yeah.
Dr. Ruth. who was the
Nailed it,
Something.
lady.
She was a
Expert.
sex.
She was a sex therapist expert.
Yes.
She was always old too. As
Yes.
far back as I can remember, she was never young.
No,
Yeah, she was
so
born
Very
having
hot.
to take vitamin supplements.
she was
No,
hot. Is that what you just said?
You got to
Yes,
go back to the
aged meat
50s. You
curtains.
got to go back to the 50s.
Oh.
In the 50s, she was hot.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
want to imagine that.
But in
bush.
her 50s, not hot.
No, like hanging meat on a hot day.
And I think she was doing like show appearances up into her 80s or something.
Pastrami, baby. Yeah.
Her vagina has asbestos, so
Nice. Very nice.
Fucking yeah, I like how he goes up there and just kisses her.
Oh yeah.
Confidence. Like he
Yeah,
has come into
he's-
his own now, right? So there's
Right.
really
Look at that
nothing holding
smile.
him back.
Yeah, she's like, oh, gotcha. That's didn't she have an accent in this role right here?
In real life,
Like,
she did too.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
look, my dry cobwebbed vagina got wet. It's, look at his face. He's
I
just
got
like you
more-
said.
Vibes that she was like really creeped out by it.
Yeah,
Probably,
yeah. I didn't.
yeah.
I
Let
didn't
a
get the
balloon
wet
animal
vibes
in your
from her
pocket. Are you
either.
just happy to see me?
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. Look, God, he's so fucking. The red nose. I don't know. I'm kind of
Okay.
50-50 on the red nose.
Now, now this scene is kind of like the like I said, is from Dark Knight Returns because the Joker goes on a late night talk show.
Yes.
And-
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. He lets
and
out the
kills
gas.
those.
Yeah, he lets
Mhm.
out the gas and kills everybody. Yeah.
Yep.
That was a good animated movie, by the way.
It was very good.
Probably one of the better ones. Yeah, and so he's like, well, this is where he says like, I have more jokes. Do you want to hear a joke or whatever? And he
I have a
goes,
joke, yes.
I like how De Niro's like, oh, go ahead, we'll take your time. we
Knock,
have nothing else.
knock.
Yeah,
And again, he was unintentionally funny
right,
by doing this stuff. Like the audience is laughing at him.
right.
Mhm.
That's his job.
And he's oblivious to it. Is the funny
Mhm.
part? Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
So
if
he
I-
says
the
a
police.
joke. Yeah, he
That's
says it.
in very poor taste.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
It's-
could put-
Yeah,
It's
it's like
like-
a
it's-
dead baby joke or something, you know.
Oh yeah, he goes
It's
knock,
much, yeah.
knock, knock.
Knock, knock.
This-
It's the
There you go.
police. Your son's been hit by the drunk driver. He's
He's
dead.
dead. And then, like the doctor's like, no, you can't say that.
Can't
And
do
this is
that.
this is Todd Phillips. He talked about this, how in today's society you can't joke about anything, or otherwise you're
Right.
deemed an asshole, and kind of how we go too far.
To be fair, this is also like for this time period. That's not even the kind of dark humor that they would
No.
tell during
Right.
that time.
No.
right,
So
right. It's a good
Right.
point.
Yeah, on a network TV show that was very good.
especially, yeah.
I kind of
Johnny
felt like
Carson.
there was more to the joke, and they just cut him off. Like I thought that there was going to be knock knock, who's there? It's the police. Your son died by a drunk DUI or whatever, and then there was going to be another part after that. Like I was waiting for
No,
that punch.
She
I
cut
didn't
him
get
off.
that feeling at all.
Nope.
No.
No. But then it never came, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
completely free here. He's just confessing everything. Finally, he's in front of his audience on TV,
Right.
and he's just like, yeah,
And then he starts chuckling about the three investment
from
guys,
Soba.
and Murray's like, you think that's funny, huh? And he's like, yup,
yep,
I
I
think it's
do.
hilarious.
I pretend. I usually say like I'm done pretending it's not. You know.
Right.
and-
And
yeah.
this next part,
They were awful. They were awful, Murray. You're awful, Murray. You're all awful.
Mhm.
and the next part goes into like
He is
what's
a little
funny
edgelord.
is subjective. Why you
Mhm.
get to say what's funny when other people don't get to say.
Right.
And he was like, "Who cares about them? If I'd have been laying dead on the sidewalk or dying,
Never
you guys would
noticed.
just step
You will
over
walk
me."
right over me.
Yeah, you
Right.
don't even
And
notice me.
Heath Ledger's Joker says something similar in The Dark Knight too, when he's talking to Harvey Dent and trying to convince him. He's like, if a bus full of soldiers gets blown up, everyone doesn't freak out because it's part of the plan, right? But if
yeah.
one little old
guy-
mayor gets shot, then everyone loses
Everyone
their
loses their
mind.
mind.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
White Bear's
He-
favorite character.
And this whole like thing right here is he's basically saying out loud what everyone's thinking.
Right.
Mhm.
Like everyone just screams at each other.
Agreed, Tim.
Oh God, let it be Schwarzenegger, please.
No.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Mr. Freeze is a much better character than than Arnold portrayed him as in the
Yes.
comic books.
He's great.
I still like Arnold, Mr. Freeze. You know
Oh,
what?
God.
Hot fucking take. I like that Batman movie. Not
You're
because
such
it's good.
an
Hold
awesome
on.
person at times.
Not because it's good, because
Oh,
as a
it's
kid,
so
I
bad.
really enjoyed it. That's all.
That's what AJ said.
It was so camp.
That's what fucking
That
AJ
was-
said.
As
I
a,
almost-
like, as a kid, all those characters look
Fuck
super
you,
fucking cool.
Joel.
It's up.
Fuck
Unsubbed.
you, Joel.
That's it. Everybody
Wow.
unsub from back.
You have 2 channels, right?
Yeah, not
Well,
anymore.
I'm down to one now.
I will make an entire video
I
about
will
why
take
that
away
movie
my
is
5
good.
YouTube
Oh,
accounts.
please do.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave a 12 fucking.
Ratios. That thing's gonna get ratioed to hell.
We should do a stream just on Batman and Robin. You and AJ can defend it. Everybody
But I know it's a bad movie. I know it's a
know.
very bad movie. It's just when you're fucking, 4 years old, you're like, Arnold Schwarzenegger as a blue guy, that's funny,
Yeah, then you grow up and go, wow, this movie sucks.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like the
All right, I'll give you
perfect role for him to do one-liners.
Oh, yeah.
Freeze in hell.
Chill
Be a
out.
cold night in Gotham.
Freeze in hell, Batman. Take 2 of these.
Have a very nice day.
No, oh, God.
God.
Clips, Mrs. Cannoli. This is all for the compilations of clips we're going to be making for the channel, for the other channel. Yeah. So what do we miss here? I'm sorry.
So they're having a conversation, and he admits that
riots.
he's actually the one behind the murder of the 3 gentlemen on the
Right.
subway. And then suddenly Murray's really genuinely interested in him. He's not really playing the talk show host angle as hard.
Mhm.
And then it's
Right.
just like he finds it funny, and Murray's like, "That's not funny. You did something terrible." And then so he starts telling jokes like, "What do you get when you take a mentally ill loner
society that abandons them.
and a society? You get what you fucking deserve."
Fucking deserve.
I
And he blows
obviously
Murray's
can't-
heads off.
Oh,
Live
bang.
burn.
and he's just sitting there with fucking this sinister smile, shaking.
And but
Great.
but
Get out.
oh yes, right. Oh, that is just like he is looking at his work and he is
That's
a
loving it.
Just not.
You're
He is
bleeding.
loving. He's loving his entire thing.
And then he shoots Murray 2 more times in the chest
Yeah.
to make sure he's really dead. Yeah.
And then he's just
Monster.
then he's dancing a little bit, and then all of a sudden, a split second of clarity hits, and it's like, oh shit, I should probably run.
Yeah. Yeah. And then all the
Then he
news,
gets tackled.
all the news immediately starts.
I don't know what you guys had on your take for this, but it was interesting that all of them were immediately reporting on because all the headlines that we see throughout this movie are all sensationalized.
Mhm.
So as soon as this happened, now all of the news networks are sensationalizing this event, and no one is truly. I think there's only one voice that actually gives a little bit of humanity to Murray as a
Mhm.
human, but the rest of them are just trying to capitalize on this
Typical
big
media.
event.
Yeah, it's typical
If
media.
it bleeds, it
Yeah.
leads.
They don't care. It's same thing. It's like they don't care.
That a
If
period
this were a regular person, they would not have all been jumping on the news to talk about it.
Right.
100%.
And this is the match that lights Gotham on fire.
Mm-hmm. Riots in the streets. It's basically 2020 all over again.
Yeah.
The summer of
Loving it
love.
right there.
This is the pre-summer of love. Yeah, he's laughing his ass off here. Yeah,
Now
he's loving
it's
it.
it's the interesting thing is we do see the the murder of Thomas and Arthur Wayne.
Mhm.
Obviously, what was the name of the film on the marquee?
Gay Mask of Zorro, the Gay Blade, Zorro the Gay Blade, or something like that.
Zorro the Gay Blade.
There it is. Yes.
What was it? What was the film that Martha and Thomas Wayne saw in the original
Was it the Mask of Zorro?
The Mask of Zorro? Now, in the Justice League one, when they in the Justice League film, when they showed it again, it's a different title completely. What is
That
the
I don't
movie?
remember.
Excalibur.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. I'm seeing his gay blow.
Oh, dude, when I first saw it, I thought it said "Blow Zorro the Gay Blade."
Right. Blow out, right.
Whoops.
I was gonna say
hair done.
because you see Martha and
You got to say her name right.
Thomas.
Martha.
Martha.
You see the Waynes get shot at the end of this too, and it was actually strikingly similar to the Zack Snyder one that we saw just 2 years prior.
Before,
which
yep.
I thought was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
it
then
was, exactly.
And then he wakes up,
spitting blood.
He spits blood, and he
puts on his blood mask.
All praise.
One of the problems that I had with the scene leading up to this is, and it's the problem that I had with the I'm trying to think of his name, Heath Ledger Joker, is how did this ambulance know that this was the exact cop car that he was going to be in?
I think this was just chance. That's all this
I think
was.
it was he was a victim of his own,
Okay.
Right.
Because they see it's a cop car, and we already know that this crowd does not like the police. So I think it's just purely by chance they see a cop car and they decide to hit it.
Okay, so I kind of took it as maybe it was like a rescue attempt or something.
I think it looks like that, especially when they pull him out and everything, right? I think they were just inspecting it because, it's a cop car,
Wanted
right?
to see who was inside, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sure that there are plenty of arrests going on as well, since this is a very public protest, but totally coincidence.
And do you notice now that the movie no longer has that blue haze over every bit of the scenery?
No, it's very clear.
As though he's awake.
He's free, as they would say. And then, of course, it gets to the end, where, again, open for interpretation. Was he
unreliable? Yeah.
Like, because he even says doesn't the doctor in the beginning, she asked him about being in the mental hospital, right? And then you see the doctor here, which very similar looking to her.
And it's the exact same room. It's the exact same room.
Right.
But in the very beginning of the movie, it talks about he had been committed before.
Right.
Yeah.
So, or some part in the movie previous to this, he had been in a mental institution, which is how he got in the program in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like that line. She's like, he's laughing, and she's like, "What? What's so funny? You wouldn't get it." So I'm like, "Well, okay. So was this all in his imagination? Everything?
No, it was just a black joke."
You know what? I think he did. He did actually go on the Murray show, and he did actually shoot him.
Okay.
Right. I do think that whole last act all happened for sure.
Now here come the bloody footprints.
Then you see the bloody footprints, and then and then he's being chased, of course.
And he's dancing.
And they're playing that's life, right? The song That's Life in the background. And then he just runs, and that's it, basically. So I mean,
great film.
It was a good movie. I mean, I again, there's some things I didn't like, some things I did, but overall, it's not a bad movie. But I kind of gotta agree with Facts. If they could have just made but
that's fine.
I understand why they picked the Joker element, because again, $1 billion, right? They pretty much figured they're going to get people in because of that.
$1 billion on a $55 million production budget.
God, I wonder why they made a sequel.
Yeah, I've got that in my trivia. Actually,
yeah, I was going to say, Vex, do you want to do the trivia now?
I got lots of trivia.
Hold on.
Thank you. Okay.
Nice.
So as Joker mentioned, budget was $55 million. Worldwide, this movie made just over $1 billion. $1,070,000,000.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Not on October 2nd, 2019. The only competition it had the week it released was Abominable, which was a kids movie.
Oh God.
It was knocked to the number 2 spot after 2 weeks with the release of Maleficent 2.
Correct.
No shit.
In the domestic market, however, in the UK, this actually stayed at number 1 for 6 consecutive weeks, which was the first film to do so since Avatar 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and also as was mentioned earlier, so this film has become the highest grossing R-rated film of all time, unadjusted for inflation, having taken over Deadpool 2 from the previous year, which had grossed $785 million within a first month of release. It took a month for Joker to reach $1 billion. It also overtook the adjusted global gross of The Dark Knight from 2008, which had the most successful modern live-action incarnation of the character up to this point. Film,
both incarnations won Oscars.
Yes. This film, only 2 comic book adaptation characters to win Oscars, and both of them were Jokers. film is the third.
I wonder why, because I'm amazing.
So this film is the third film to earn 1 billion worldwide without being released in China. So the first two movies are Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest and The Dark Knight. And then in late December 2021, Spider-Man No Way Home also followed, becoming the fourth. And in June 2022, Top Gun Maverick became the fifth.
Wow.
Yeah. So it made $1 billion despite not having a Chinese release, which is also pretty crazy.
It's interesting.
Which basically saying, guys, let's stop catering to China.
China. Least expensive film to ever hit $1 billion as well, which also to many people make it seem to be the most lucrative comic book film as well because of that budget. So Joaquin Phoenix said that the laugh was the hardest part of mastering for his character and based it on videos of people suffering from pathological laughter. He also sought to portray the character with which audiences could not identify. It's kind of funny. Pathological laughter is a real life disorder which causes a patient to suffer from uncontrollable laugh attacks as a response for tense or stressful situations. It isn't unusual. These attacks can stop the normal flux of oxygen to the brain and lungs, causing hypoxia or even asphyxia in the patient.
Wow.
Brain damage.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, because you hyperventilate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Phillips described Joaquin Phoenix's take on Arthur as, quote, a guy who is searching for identity who mistakenly becomes a symbol. His goal genuinely is to make people laugh and bring joy to the world.
I do.
Oh. Not kill midgets.
Well, this is where
I didn't.
Again, this is where you're trying to be more sympathetic towards the Joker, right? Which I didn't like that.
Right.
Joaquin Phoenix was very cagey during interviews at the Venice Film Festival where this first premiered when asked about siding with Arthur. He told the press that any questions they might have about Joker will be left up to the audience to decide. Quote, the great joy of the film for the audience is that they get to decide for themselves. That's what I was attracted to. In most movies, certainly in genre movies where there is a hero and the villain, the motivations of the characters are clear. What I like about this is that I was never certain what was motivating him. I have my own opinion. I think I know what it is for me, but I wouldn't want to impose that on anyone who hasn't seen the film. And he also cites that being also the reason he was very drawn to starring in this movie is that he couldn't figure out the character completely.
Holy crap. An actor that didn't talk about the character and give their thoughts about what their motivation was and ruin it and then call everybody racist and sexist and
I know it's crazy. For all the stuff that I've read, it's Todd Phillips is the one that has given the most information about the depth and character analysis for the movie. But Joaquin Phoenix was very mum throughout all of the press for this.
It's because he understood the character,
right? And another thing about this film, as the other Oscar award winning other Oscar award-winning performance, because I get asked, who is the best on screen, and I get asked Heath or the Joaquin, and I'm like, really, these are apples and oranges because Heath is in the film maybe a third of the time. Joaquin is in every single scene in this film.
Yeah, Heath Ledger is not even a supporting character, I would say. He's like a tertiary character with the amount of screen time he has.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
The filmmakers cite Alan Moore's The Killing Joke, which tells the Joker's origin and descent into insanity, as well as 3 Martin Scorsese films, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, and The King of Comedy, as influences on this film. It received a 8-minute standing ovation at Venice Film Festival, which now I know is not really a big deal because there seems to be a film every year that does this. So, and they all coincidentally are all 8 minutes long. So
well, didn't Indiana Jones get a 9?
Get a 5.
Got a
something
5.
like that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which from what I've heard from WDW Pro and whatnot, that's kind of that's very common. Something like, what was it? I think Schindler's List got an 11 minutes.
Yeah, it's all over the board depending on the movie. So yeah. Joaquin Phoenix had been interested in a low-budget character study. I don't know. I guess in Hollywood, only $55 million is low budget.
That is low budget for Hollywood.
I know. Just the scope of $55 million being low budget seems ridiculous to me. Of a comic book character, and said that the film feels unique. It is its own world in some ways, and maybe it might as well be the thing that scares you the most. Phoenix originally did not think the film should be about the Joker, but couldn't think of another good character, so he abandoned the idea. It wasn't until Todd Phillips started putting together this movie that he became interested again. He was also Todd Phillips' first and only choice for the lead role.
Wow. Interesting.
In an interview in Vanity Fair, leading neurocriminologist Adrian Rain said he was stunned by how authentically the film depicted the psychology of the criminal mind. Quote, for 42 years, I've studied the cause of crime and violence. While watching this film, I thought, wow, what a revelation this was. It is a great educational tool about the making of the murderer, he said. In the article, Rain went on to diagnose the character of Arthur Fleck with schizotypal personality disorder. Quote, those who suffer from it have bizarre beliefs, odd behavior, odd appearance, odd speech, no close friends other than family members, and emotional affect issues, either being completely shut down or way over the top. He now uses this film as part of the course he teaches at the University of Pennsylvania.
Wow. That's interesting.
Originally, Warner Bros. Wanted Martin Scorsese to make this film with...
I remember that.
Leonardo DiCaprio as Arthur. However, in the end, this proved to be logistically impossible, as DiCaprio had already signed on to do Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for Quentin Tarantino, which was due to start filming at the same time. Scorsese had also committed himself to another project, The Irishman, which also starred De Niro. De Niro was also in talks for another role, and he actually was ready to decline this, but just coincidentally, filming had finished on The Irishman, so he was able to do this movie. Similarly, Warner Brothers was initially hesitant in making this film and thought it was too dark and violent. They were concerned that it may tarnish the Joker for kids who annually buy millions of toys and related merchandise. However, a year later, and after some convincing from Todd Phillips, they finally agreed to go ahead with the project. A violent R-rated DC comic book film adaptation is nothing new to Warner Brothers, who spent a considerable amount on V for Vendetta in 2005 and Watchmen in 2009, with the latter costing more than $130 million, which is over double the budget of Joker.
Great.
Hold on, I lost myself. Sorry.
That's a clip.
While being honored for his acting career and for his film at the Venice Film Festival, Joaquin Phoenix stated in his speech that he owes his career to his late brother and fellow actor, River Phoenix, who, remember, died of a drug overdose, I think in 92 or 93.
At the Viper Room.
Yes, at the Viper Room, which Johnny Depp was a frequent flyer at. I think actually he partially owned that, didn't he?
For a brief time, I think.
Didn't they just like throw him out of the place? Instead of calling the ambulance, they just kind of dumped him.
They tossed him off. Yeah,
they tossed him out of there and like, get out of here.
Because it was such a common thing.
Yes, yeah. He stated that his brother came home one day from work with a copy of the film Raging Bull, which starred Robert De Niro, who eventually became his co-star. Joaquin goes on to state that he was in his teens at the time and he had quit acting. River had him watch the film that evening, and the next day he stated that River encouraged him to never give up on acting.
It's a great movie to watch. So,
a little bit of an offshoot trivia, but Joaquin Phoenix was considered for the role of Batman in Darren Aronofsky's canceled Batman Year One movie. It's a weird choice.
What the fuck? No, thank you.
He doesn't have the face for Bruce Wayne.
No,
even if he got jacked out of his mind.
He's not a pretty boy.
No.
Keep Aronofsky away from fucking Batman, please.
I think he can be attractive in his own way, but not traditionally handsome.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think he has the right.
Yeah, crackhead, malnourished, handsome.
I mean, even if you just like he just went to the gym and he got he
just doesn't have the persona.
Jacked.
Well, like I'm just thinking like Joaquin Phoenix in Gladiator. I think that was the peak of his attractiveness, we'll say, because he was kind of jacked there. He was young looking, but even then, he's not traditionally handsome enough to be a Bruce Wayne.
He was in 8mm too.
Yeah, he was.
So he was pretty young then. It was another great movie.
I agree, Gord
and
King.
Space Count.
Jesus Christ. Wayne.
He was in Space Camp.
He was. He was.
With his nomination for this film, Todd Phillips is the first director to ever receive a Best Director nomination for a comic book film at the Academy Awards.
Telling you, it's all about me.
Yeah, we know, Joker.
In the German, Italian, French, Spanish, Russian, and Hungarian versions.
Christ.
Sorry.
Hungarian.
All of Arthur's diary entries and his card explaining his illness are in the respective national languages. This is a rather unusual for a live action film since it required producing extra props and subsequently shooting them.
Wow.
Interesting. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, so they did that before they released it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. It's all part of filming. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
It's cool.
Film composer, I'm gonna fucking butcher this.
Oh God, please.
Hilder Guttenatur?
Yeah, not gonna work here anymore.
She did the accent. She did the fucking accent again. It's a composer.
Not gonna be working here anymore.
We'll just call him Blair to Blair, okay?
Blair to Blair. Yeah.
Blair to Blair.
She performed all the cello soloist sections herself in the score, and she also composed the soundtrack prior to any filming.
Wait, that was the chick's name?
It's a chick's name.
Crap. Sorry, Blair.
Yeah, whatever.
This film is banned from airing on Indian television as of 2020 for being too violent, even after cutting out 58 scenes.
Thank you, but don't come again.
It's racism.
Wait, too violent? How? There's like literally a couple of guys get shot. Okay,
wait.
Shanks the dude with the scissors. That part was bad. He spares the midget.
So you know what it is, and I didn't put this in the trivia because I just didn't think it was worth mentioning. But Todd Phillips says in a couple of the interviews that they intentionally went for a more raw feel with a lot of the violence, and that's why a lot of audiences took it, I guess, a bit harsher than even things like John Wick, because there's the sense of raw realness to all the violence.
It didn't seem any more violent than any other.
But I think that was a saving grace for the film, was the way that they did
the violence, how they
it
fits.
It wasn't over the top. It wasn't.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
100%.
It was rage, but not super powered or overdrawn.
Yeah.
It was. He wasn't doing things that a normal person that
couldn't do.
Right. And he wasn't like chopping them up with chainsaws in the bathtub or anything.
No.
That comes later. That comes with practice.
He wasn't falling down 58
like Scarface is a much more violent movie than this.
Yeah. I don't know. Take it up with India, man. I don't know.
The fuck, man. I don't have a chat with those people.
Since the film's release in 2019, the character of Arthur Fleck has become a symbol of protest in countries all over the world, such as Lebanon, Chile, Iraq, and China, for government corruption protests. In June and July 2020, the Arthur Fleck Joker imagery emerged during the George Floyd protests as well.
Of course, naturally. Cool.
Wait, I thought he was an incel though.
And he's white. So what does that have to do with George Floyd?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know, man. None of these people make fucking sense.
The stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. Supreme Pizza.
Frances McDormand turned down the role of Penny Fleck.
Oh, I like Crazy Eye, whatever the fuck her name.
Who?
No, Frances McDormand, not Frances. What's her face? That's in the role. Frances McDormand.
That's what I mean. I like the
okay.
Lazy Eye. I like her better. She fits the role better.
I like her too. I
hate Frances.
And then final piece of trivia. David Fincher disliked this film, criticizing it as another corporate Hollywood franchise film that steals from other works. On the film, Fincher said, quote, "I don't think anyone would have looked at that material and thought, yeah, let's take Travis Bickle and Rupert Pumpkin and conflate them, then trap him in a betrayal of the mentally ill and trot it out for $1 billion. He further elaborated, quote, "The reality of our current situation is that the 5 major studios don't want to make anything that can't make them $1 billion. None of them want to be in the medium price challenging content business that cleaves off exactly the kind of movies I make."
Nobody thought this movie was going to make $1 billion.
Right. And I'm sorry, David Fincher, but the Batman was inspired by Seven.
I can even see inspiration of Seven in this movie.
Yeah, sure.
This had a lot of the cinematics and the
Yeah.
A lot of
sets
things.
and how
I got Fincher
dingy
vibes.
and everything. Yeah,
He's just mad that
now
he didn't
that you
get a
mention
piece.
it, the Times Square thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The apartment of what's his name, the guy that had all the books and journals and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
all
Oh,
of
the
it.
killer. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of this. I think these sets could be interchangeable.
100%.
100%. Yeah.
What did Fincher have out? Did he have anything out at this point that can't? No, like. Did he have any movies that bombed around here?
He was working on Mindhunter at this time.
So what does he give a
The
shit?
TV show.
The TV show. Yeah, that's David Fincher.
He produced it
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, good show. Great show.
That was another one that had really good sets
Yeah.
that matched the time zone.
Didn't
the
David
time
Fincher make Benjamin Button?
Did he?
Did he make Didn't he make Curious Case of Benjamin Button? I don't fucking know. He's just,
I haven't seen that movie still.
It sounds like a little
You
bit of
can skip
jealousy. Yeah, it's all right. It's a short story they
I
turned
really
into a
don't wanna
3-hour
see
movie.
it. Yeah.
It's
You
fucking,
know what? It's just I find it's hit and miss if I want to see Brad Pitt in a film because most of the time he just does not live up to
He's
any hype.
fine. It's just
it's okay.
Just look at a picture of him. You'll be good.
I just don't think he's a very good. You know what it
Lead?
is?
No, he's not a good lead actor.
He's shown that he has some acting range because in the 90s he was in a lot of good movies, right? But then I guess the fame hit him, and around the time that Troy happened, then he started becoming just cast as a pretty boy or because his name was Brad Pitt.
He was okay in Moneyball.
Yeah.
But he was still just Brad Pitt in Moneyball.
Yeah, he's just like I act cool and
I just
everything,
see
and
him
I'm
as
probably
Brad
smoking
Pitt.
a pound of weed in the background.
I liked him in the Oceans movies, but then again, he was just being Brad
It's
Pitt.
just Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Just being Brad Pitt. Yeah.
That's true.
I mean,
So
It's like
it's
watching Will Ferrell, but not.
Exactly.
Or Jack Black.
Don't fucking
but-
bring up that name on my stream again, Mikey.
But isn't that the fate of all actors that eventually they get to a point to where they're just playing themselves?
Well,
Yeah,
he
he's a-
hasn't. But he hasn't had a Tom Cruise moment where
No.
he's dressed up like Les Grossman.
That is true.
Oh,
That I'm
Yeah.
telling you, that is Tom Cruise's best role because I had no
Yes.
idea it was him until
So
halfway
good.
through the movie, and then it hit me, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's Tom Cruise!"
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And he's like, "Yeah, you want a G6 player? You want to, you play,
Which in my mind, he is just emulating his own agent. So
I just wish that they
Probably.
could, get some lessons from like Steven Seagal or somebody with that kind of acting range,
Steven Seagal. Don't talk about my
Oh
favorite
yeah,
actor.
dude can act.
Mark for death, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, it's hit or miss whether I want to actually watch a film with Brad Pitt now these days.
You would not like the movie, Vex. It's too long. They took a short story and turned it into a 3-hour movie,
oof,
and it's not great. It's
oof.
not great. It's not.
Yeah, see, I'm surprised that he won an Oscar for that role, Tim. I'm gonna be honest, because it just felt like he was just being Brad Pitt, but a little bit doofier. That's it.
I have never seen that movie.
Actually, you know what? The one movie that I think he did do well, post Troy, was Men with Goats.
That movie was really
Man with
weird.
What the one? Wait, is that the one with George Clooney and the
Yeah,
Men
they're
Who
supposed
Stare
to
at
be
Goats?
like, the
I
Men Who
remember,
Stare
it's
at
supposed to be a
Goats.
true story,
Yeah.
based on a true story.
There we go.
kinda.
That
Man
was
with
pretty
Goats.
funny.
That was a different movie. That's
Yeah,
one from your
sorry.
homeland.
That's you don't have goats at your farm, do you, Whitey?
No, sorry. Hold
Whitey?
on.
No.
No, I was going to say
Okay.
that's not a home movie, is it?
Stovepipe. There's something fucking wrong with you, Stovepipe. What we,
Hold
go ahead.
on,
Do you have
what
more?
is that
Go ahead.
movie called?
Oh.
No, I don't have any more trivia. I just need to double check what that movie. It's not. Is it Men Who Stare at Goats? Is that it?
Yeah,
The
that's
men
what
who
it
goes,
come,
yeah.
the men
Yeah,
who
the
come
men
on
who-
goats.
The Men
Yeah.
Who Stare at Goats. is what
Yeah,
it's
do
called.
not Google the wrong thing or you'll have to clear that search history.
No, not Men Who Stare. Okay, Men Who Stare at Goats is a George Clooney one. Just George.
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
Burn
Yeah,
after
we just
reading.
said that.
Burn after reading.
Wait, what?
That's
It had
totally
nothing to
different.
do with
Wait,
the
that's a spy movie, though, right?
What? Oh, that movie about the go. Oh no, hold on.
Is that-
Burn
is that
after
the-
reading.
Is that the one with?
I got it confused because George
She is
Clooney's
so
in that.
hungry.
Is that the one with
tired.
Leonardo DiCaprio in it?
No,
Burn
no
after reading's
Leonardo
with
DiCaprio.
George Clooney's in that one
It's-
too.
Yeah, George Clooney's in it. Francis McDermott. It's a
Yeah,
Coen
Brad
Brothers.
Pitt
film.
gets shot
my
in the closet when he's trying
Well,
to come
no,
out of the
people
closet.
haven't seen the movie. I've seen it.
Yeah, John Malkovich is in there. Tilda Swinton, Richard
they
Jenkins.
stare and they stare at
I know
ghosts.
another one of
They
those
stare at
movies,
ghosts.
an excuse to get a bunch of actors all together.
When you start getting that big name actors, I
Wow.
start losing interest in those kind of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
sometimes it
actually
doesn't
I
work.
was genuinely surprised by that one. I liked it a lot. I think that's
Well,
Brad Pitt's only good movie after Troy.
I didn't like Troy.
Yeah,
Troy
I'm saying
was-
that Troy was.
Oh,
where
like
he,
after
like,
that, yeah, I see.
Yeah, it all went downhill after that
Yeah,
because he
yeah,
was
yeah.
just being cast for his name or because he
Right.
was a pretty boy.
Hey, it was the Goats movie. Was that Ewan McGregor or Jude Law?
I think it was Ewan McGregor.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Probably
mix
Ewan
them up
McGregor.
all
I
the
don't know.
time.
I got Vex just completely confused the shit out of me. But I get it. It's fine. But yeah, no, I've seen both of them actually, and they're Burn After Reading was okay. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh, also, not to derail this any more than it already is, but
Good luck.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, when he fights Bruce Lee,
Mhm.
I thought that was him daydreaming, not remembering. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, "Oh, he beat the crap out of Bruce Lee." I thought it was him
Wasn't there controversy with that?
daydreaming on the roof
That
while he's fixing
scene?
the antenna. Well, yeah,
Mm,
because people was like, "There's no way he'd beat Bruce Lee up,"
Bruce Lee.
and that's why I thought it was his imagination, not a
Probably all
not
the
a
drugs.
memory.
It's all the
Right.
drugs that he was doing.
So a lot of people were like, "Oh, yeah, he beat up Bruce Lee," and I was like, "I don't think that happened. I think he was daydreaming about it while he was fixing that antenna on the roof."
Daydreaming that while also daydreaming about fucking underage girls, which is all
Jesus
his character
fucking-
wanted to
That
do.
chick, no. He was that chick was weird. She was all up on him, and
But he was into it. His
no,
character was into it.
he was taking the what do you want? What's it called? Where he's just kind of playing along. He's humoring her basically.
The hitchhiker.
Yeah. Yep. I don't think he never wanted. She put her dirty ass feet up on his dashboard.
Oh,
Nah,
Done.
nah.
You don't think so? I
Nah,
didn't get that vibe.
Well, then we also Vex thinks movies about goats are about. Never mind. So sorry. All right. Yeah, that was fun. So if we're gonna give a rating to the Joker, let's do that before we can get everybody out of here. Joker voice. What is your rating for this movie out of a 10?
8.
Not bad. Frowny the Downsy. What is your rating for this movie? This isn't a
Okay.
hard-
We're gonna give this a 4 out of 10 because
A 4.
Wow.
yeah, not a fan of it.
Didn't know
Is
there
this
were goats in
is
it?
this worse or better than Old Boy?
Oh God. don't get
I'd rather
stupid.
watch Old Boy. I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
Wait,
just made
which
Vex's fucking
version
day.
of Old Boy?
Oh,
The
you know
original
what-
No, the
version,
original one. We watched the original.
Yeah.
We reviewed that one.
Yeah,
already.
they put me through that bullshit.
Vex was very happy that night.
But this is, I didn't need this movie.
Maybe
It
you
didn't need
Maybe-
you either.
Yeah, it's because you're racist
yeah,
against white
exactly,
people.
exactly. And but
I
all
got
those damn white people. The messaging. I will say that the cinematography of this movie was freaking awesome.
It was great.
I
Yeah.
can't compliment that enough.
You
And
realize you're going to burn
Joaquin's-
women in hell.
Joaquin Phoenix's acting in this was great.
Yeah.
But this is
Overall,
not how I
just-
wanted to see the character at all. It's kind of like how everybody has their own version of how they like to see Superman depicted or whatever like that.
Yeah, I like
This wasn't it for
Superman.
me. And the media that came after it, why I stayed away from this movie for so long is because of the media that came right after that and all the fucking memes of people, I'm just tired of hiding or whatever. And I saw all that shit on social media so much that I'm like,
Mhm,
you know
mhm.
what? Fuck this movie and fuck everybody that's involved with it. I don't want to see it again, and I hope it dies in a pool of its own shit. So.
Tell me how you really
um,
feel, Whitey.
Oh, okay. Well, so
Right now,
anyways,
I've got
it
Whitey's
really
extra
wasn't
dress,
for me.
Gallons of gasoline.
Burn a
but-
farm down.
I'm not one of those people who have like a fetish for this movie who might have seen it 30 times.
7 out of 10.
But it's just not my thing. It's kind of like if you like action movies or this or that,
Yeah,
But
I get it.
if you want to see a movie that makes you want to slit your wrists and lay in a warm bathtub, this would be it.
Wow.
And
On that note,
I don't like a lot of the messaging. So, anyways, that's why. Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah.
You're entitled.
There you go. Okay,
Shield
walk,
Wall.
walk.
What about you, buddy?
So to me, this movie doesn't have a lot of rewatchability because
Right, I agree.
I really like the sets. I like the cinematography. I thought that Joaquin Phoenix did a great job with the Joker.
Mhm.
I like how it focused on the journal and the parts that it talked about in there, how it really addressed like mental health and how people really feel. I like how the story showed him just getting shit on and one time after another. You know, how much more do you want a man to take, or anybody really, before they snap and turn on the system?
Day.
Right, exactly. But that being said, this movie is like in its own bubble compared to all the rest of the Jokers, because he also, it wasn't even him that killed the parents at the end. It was just some clown in a mask, and quite literally and figuratively. So I don't get where there's going to be a Batman is now going after the Joker because of that, as opposed to the Joker escapes and then goes crazy and starts doing stuff, and now he has to deal with it, unless he's trying to blame him for the genesis of the whole thing.
Well, if I may, in the Killing Joke, Joker is not the one who kills Bruce Wayne's parents either.
That's true. Somebody else.
And this is kind of like my Thad that shouldn't be moment is, you know, feel free to instruct me, because you can change my mind on this by telling me things I don't know. Because all I've seen is this movie. I haven't read Killing Joke. I know I've read a few comics in the past.
Just don't watch the animated movie.
Yeah, don't watch the animated film.
Fucking terrible.
Because, you know,
don't watch the first half hour.
Yeah, watch the last 40 minutes of the fucking movie. That's where it gets.
Of the Killing Joke. I thought that was a pretty good movie.
And Whitey's off the street.
So, but to kind of wrap it up, so the first part I liked about those things, I liked the plot line and everything. It had a few minor problems for me, so yeah, I would say I'd give it like a 7 out of 10.
It's fair.
With the caveat though that I'm, instead of doing like these rating systems like that, what I tend to do now is because it can be so subjective, is how do I want to watch it again? And how soon do I want to watch it again? That's like my new metric of, is a movie good or not? Do I want to run right out and pay money to see it in the theater? That's almost a universal no for me on any movie I've seen in the last probably 5 years.
That's fair.
Fair.
But am I gonna, if it comes on TV, that's my real metric. Will I stop what I'm doing and just watch it from wherever it is in the point of the movie? Like Dune 1984, I will watch it. A lot of people don't like that movie, but I like it. Yeah, I like the cinematography and stuff. This, I might watch it if it came on TV. But do I want to go out and watch it again right now? Nah, I could probably wait a few years or something. So it's not a bad movie, but it's not like one that I just dying to see over and over again.
Okay.
If that makes any kind of sense.
No, I like it. It's a good breakdown.
No, I actually agree with you 100%. Like, I found myself really struggling to rewatch this today, actually. Like, I literally went and did a whole bunch of things because I was bored rewatching.
Oh, so you just listened to the Scuttle rap a bunch?
No, like, I went to deep clean the bathroom. I went to run errands. I cooked, and then I was just like, fuck, I really
only when the midget came on, she went to go rewatch.
Yeah, that's called avoidance.
I just did not want, like, I kept sitting down and restarting this movie.
Talk to my shrink about that.
You know, if I get to the point with a movie like that or like something, what I'll do is I'll just go on YouTube and watch like a review or synopsis or.
Well, it's because we go scene by scene that I feel like I have to watch the whole movie, right? You never know.
It really, all you got to do is do the trivia and you'll get.
If I had to watch Old Boy, you have to watch every single movie after this.
Every frame.
Shit. So what's your rating, Vec?
I give this 7 abused children attached to a radiator out of 10.
I'm fine with it.
But do they have newspaper underneath them or not?
No.
They're malnourished.
I echo a lot of the sentiments that Shieldwall and Whitey have. Like, there's not a whole lot of rewatchability for this. I think aesthetically, this movie is a 10 out of 10. It does a really good job on the sets, and I do feel immersed in the environment. Joaquin Phoenix like blew it out of the park. He did a phenomenal job and definitely deserved the Oscar and the praise for it. Todd Phillips, like, I do like that he took a different route and decided to go dark drama as opposed to comedy, and he did it very well. But it's just I like having the Joker being an anomaly. That's something key to his evilness and the intrigue that we all
Mystery.
have
Mhm.
for the character. So I would have much like there's a dozen other DC villains that this could have been applied to that would have worked better. I think like I don't know what the Riddler's backstory is, but I think the Riddler would have been a cool choice here instead.
The Riddler's a bitch.
Yeah, but I don't think the Riddler doesn't have the same type of psychosis.
Okay,
Right.
that's
Right.
fair, right? But I'm
Right.
sure there's a million other villains you could pick.
Mhm.
But it's just Joker is the most prominent
Iconic.
and most
He makes-
iconic one
yeah,
out of
people
the
know who he
DC
is.
universe,
For
right?
me,
I mean,
Mr.
he's
Freeze is a
been
very
around for
sympathetic.
80
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, and that only happened in 1992 because up until then he was called Mr. Zero, and he was kind of a D-list
Mhm.
character.
Character
It was Batman. It was Batman the animated series
that brought him to life. Yeah.
and the episode Heart of Ice
Mhm.
that basically rewrote the canon.
It's my favorite
For-
episode out of that whole series. By the way.
It's a great.
I remember
Fucking
seeing
amazing.
that where oh, I don't know if I should spoil it or not.
God damn it, Shieldwall. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm not,
What the heck?
but so basically, he's like head of research or something, and
Mhm.
he's trying to preserve his daughter, and
Wife.
they pull
Wife.
his wife. Okay, sorry,
His wife,
and they
Nora.
pull the plug on it, and she dies.
Mhm.
But during that, there's an accident which gives his powers, if I'm
Mhm.
remembering correctly.
Mhm.
Well, it preserves. He gets it exposed to these chemicals and this sub freezing tech. So now the only way he can live is to be kept at like 0 degrees Celsius at all times.
Right.
And he was able to preserve his. He was able to still preserve his wife. So everything he does is trying to get the materials to complete the research so his wife can live.
Right. Okay. So the motivation, I just remember the motivation was his wife or a loved one, and
Right.
that's why he was doing what he was doing. So it made him a very sympathetic character. And
Correct.
you thought about it like, if that was somebody that I really cared for, what would I do?
Sure.
What would I,
That's
how
why it
many
was a
people
great
would I
episode.
just kill to get what I needed? But overall, I can see why the Joker was the character that won the 2 Oscars out of all this, because the character is so intriguing. I can see why Joker voice is very attached to the character in most of the
There's
iterations.
some mental illness there too, but we won't talk about that.
And I'm getting therapy for that. It's fine.
Yeah.
But why the Batman franchise as a whole has the legs that it does and everything is a lot of reasons why is because of Joker and the characters like that. Now the Penguin, on the other hand, I like the newer iterations of the Penguin. I did not like the old stuff where he's got like I got the exploding umbrella and whatever. I was like, that was kind of nonsensical. But the newer ideations of
Better,
the
yeah.
Penguin are much better. But anyway, so
Yeah, no, I like it. I like all the arguments about the movie because I think I was telling somebody in our chat, we might have been you, Vex. Like I rewatched it over the weekend, and I don't know, it just didn't hit me the same way it did the first time. Parts were great, and the White Bear's got a great point. Cinematography's beautiful, the acting is great,
and also the classiness of the violence in the movie.
Right,
I will
it
say that
fit. Everything
for me.
fit.
That was one of the big things, and that probably hit people a lot harder, and that's
Yeah.
maybe why normies, not
like
big
it,
fans of the Batman,
Oh, the
franchise.
first
Yeah.
I think that might have been more attractively, like, subtly to them.
Right.
That's how they handled the violence in the movie, because it's so just like, bam, it happened, and we're moving on. It's not. It's not bathing in the gore, so I can respect that about
agree.
the movie.
It's just
Yeah, see, there's a lot of things this movie does right. It's just the fact that it's a Joker movie is what brings it down for me at the end of the day. That's really all it
poor
is.
Joker.
And I love the
boys.
Joker as a character. I really do. I really do.
Oh, poor Joker boy.
It's-
only Joker voice was a midget.
Yeah.
Stuffed animal.
Yeah,
midget
Vex
Joker
would really
voice.
feel sorry for him.
I probably
We've
give this-
never seen Joker voice's legs, so
Oh.
oh,
Just
come
like-
here,
Oh,
Joker.
yes.
We're looking for him.
Yeah, I have actually in person. I'd probably give this movie 7 lazy mom eyes. Intense. Makes me all it's good. It's okay. I don't know if I kind of in Shield Wall, I could be saying if this was on, would I rewatch it? Maybe, but I'm not going out of my way to rewatch it. So it is what it is at this point. Overall, solid movie, great show. Thank you very much to our guests, of course. Joker Voice killed it, coming in full character.
I know.
On that note, Joker Voice, tell us what you got going on, my man. Shout out your stuff.
Wednesday, I will have a review of Spider-Man. Miles de Morales across the Spider-Verse. Friday, I will be doing a review of my second review of episodes 3 and 4 of the new Netflix series Fubar, which I've enjoyed the first 2. We'll see how that goes. Thursday, you can catch me on Roman of the Empire. We will be talking about one of my favorite films of all time, The Crow.
Awesome.
And then
Grunge Joker.
And then you can also catch me Wednesday going over Game of Thrones season 3 episodes 9 and 10 over on Legion Talk. We'll be on Legion Talk again on Friday for Friday Night's Royal Rumble. And then Cannoli, I gave you something in your Twitter DMs that goes along with this little shirt right here. We will be doing a back design very soon, and I will let Cannoli see. I'll let you guys will be the first ones to see this. All of you in the chat as well. So this came from I was on one of Cannoli's shows, and Cannoli, the wife, and I, we had a Cannoli connection. Is there a sound that goes with this?
Yeah.
So there was a thought of this, so this turned into a design, and this will be going on the back of the shirts for a limited time. Awesome. And 100% of the proceeds from this shirt, whenever I get the word that this is up and ready, this will be 100% going to the Stuttering Foundation.
Awesome.
Nice.
Very
nice.
All right, and then you obviously have your original design.
Correct.
Which is awesome. Which I own that shirt.
Yes.
Thank you. It's very good stuff. Very good stuff, Joker. Good job, man. Looking forward to that.
And the missus, no, I am not going to work dressed like this.
Oh, come on. You
I have the before.
Oh, okay. I'm not surprised.
I have a Joker and a Harley cosplay in my backlog. If I weren't in Florida, I would have come dressed for this as well.
White Bear? What do you got going on there, Mr. Oh, Jesus Christ. Mr. Egg?
Sorry, I got to get rid of that lazy eye.
Don't make us
I have worms.
Wow.
Sorry,
I have worms, and
you should get that
from staring at all those goats.
Yeah, the deworming process. Actually, so part of gardening is having really good worms for your compost and all that, and I'll be recording the whole process of over 8 weeks, growing like 4 earthworms into like 4,000. So I just got in a worm growing bag, and which will be helping out the garden, and then during the winter time helping out the chickens have good protein. So we'll be recording all. Yeah, bless it, baby. So just get ready for all the recordings that are going to be coming out from the summer when I finally get some fucking time.
Get ready for worms, Whitey's worms.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait. Vex, let me guess. Check Twitter. Cool. Anyway, sorry, Vex. Go ahead, man. Go ahead,
that's pretty accurate, I would say. Yeah. I'm hoping that this fucking Bottoms trailer will finally be out tomorrow.
Oh, please, for the love of God.
Yes. So that I can film a video and post that up on the second channel. If not, I don't know whether to put this Romancylvania review up this week or next week because Summer Games. Tits. Yeah, but Summer Games Fest is this weekend. That's why.
Oh, when's Xbox's big game announcement thing?
Their showcase is on Sunday morning.
Oh, I'm
and I'm driving back home this weekend.
Oh, it sucks.
So I can't even.
Can't you listen to it while you're driving home?
I don't want to use the data on it, to be honest, because unlike you guys, I don't get all this crazy amounts of data in fucking Canada.
In Canada.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of that country.
So but I like to ideally maybe on the Monday, because I'm driving back Saturday, Sunday instead. So maybe on the Monday I'll put something together and that will be out on the channel.
Okay.
Just keep an eye out. I'll always announce it on Twitter. I did hit a special milestone on my
please talk
channel,
about that. Yes, please talk about that.
Over 10,000 views on a video.
Nice, congrats.
All those people you paid off.
Right. It's my Little Mermaid review is at 12.5 thousand views last I checked.
Wow,
that was a pretty fire review.
That was a great review. Yes.
Yeah. So it's that's doing really well. So
so I'm guessing you liked it then.
Oh, I loved it. I totally want to do rags under the sea.
Yeah, under the sea.
But yeah, if that Bottoms trailer comes out, then tomorrow there will be a video up on the second channel. If not, then the next thing I'm reviewing there will be The Flash.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, quick
Canadian
question. Sorry, no, I'm bypassing you here at Cannoli. If Mexico to America has coyotes, what do you have between Canada and America, like beavers or something?
Moose.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're talking about like the human trafficking coyotes, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess now.
Oh, human trafficking. Oh, we just use babies for that.
Jesus fucking Christ. Fucking cat.
Oh, and Vegas Golden Knights are up two games to none in the Stanley Cup.
Vegas.
Don't care at all.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not a hockey person. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, it sucks.
That's fine.
Racism.
The only thing I like about hockey is that it gave us the movie Goon. I really like the movie Goon.
Not the Mighty Ducks.
Don't care about it.
Slapshot.
Don't care about it.
The cutting edge.
It sounded like you just
it had Emilio Estevez.
It's a good movie. I highly recommend you go check out the sleeper comedy Goon. It's actually pretty funny.
You're a sleeper comedy.
I am a sleeper comedy. Thank you.
Shield Wall. Whose show are you going to be on next?
So tomorrow, I'll be on Jacob Ironside's channel. We'll be doing episodes 7 and 8 of the Twilight Zone.
Awesome.
OG Twilight Zone.
Awesome.
And thanks to the chat, I've been trying to keep up with just reading what's going on there. And as usual, it's insane as ever. So it's good fun.
Yeah. Appreciate the chat a lot. You guys were on fire tonight. And then as far as me, next week on this MMM show, boy, we have a good one. We are doing the Batman versus Superman Ultimate Snyder Cut 4-hour, whatever the fuck.
I didn't rewatch that version. I rewatched the standard version.
Give me cancer now.
You're gonna miss all this. Actually,
I don't know.
I will say you can literally catch all the missed clips on YouTube. All you have to do is just put in Ultimate Edition.
Hold on. I have a question though. Why the fuck are we reviewing the long version when there's already?
That's what I was requested.
There's already like 12 people on this fucking panel.
Is Shield Wall gonna be there? Are you gonna be there, bro?
I don't know. Nobody invited me.
Oh, touchy subject, motherfucker.
I mean, if you got plenty of people, that's cool. I'm all good.
I want you to be part of this pain.
Oh God, I have to rewatch that this weekend. And but
just whoever, we can talk about it later, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. So that's coming up next week. Vex just doesn't want it to be a 4.5-hour stream.
Bro, like that'll be my first day back in Canada, and I don't want to be even more depressed by fucking going over 4 hours of Batman versus Superman.
Why did you say that?
Why did you say that? Yeah, so we have that. Let's see, and then of course, obviously, our next guest on the Cannoli Connection is Jason Sandberg. We're going to talk about his new comic book out, so that'll be fun. And of course, Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch has her channel, and
Yeah, check out her channel. She's been having.
She's doing well, and she's got some more content coming out this week. I think she might do a live stream this Friday morning, and then also have some pre-recorded stuff coming out. And then if you want to check out mediocre, shitty content, check out my second channel, the Cannoli Catalog.
Way to advertise yourself.
Just kidding.
Bro.
If this Bottoms fucking trailer comes out, I have to fucking do a commentary video on it because it's so insane. Thank you, Vex, for that information. By the way, that is fantastic.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Other than that, great show. We love you all, and we're gonna head out, and we will see you next time.
Toodles.
Bye.